Oh no. This is so awful. Oh man. This hurts so much. I can't even look at it. I can't look at the volume. I really feel like I should probably take a few minutes. I am so not ready for what's about to happen. If the Water 7 arc was any indication, then I genuinely feel like the Enies Lobby arc, which is what I'm reading in this video, is going to emotionally destroy me. Especially since a lot of people have said I'm not ready. And if you guys don't believe I'm ready, then I don't think I am. So you know what? Let's take a year off. Let's just read One Piece next year instead. It's a 2024 issue. I'm totally kidding, I can't wait that long. Thank you everyone for your patience waiting for this video. I haven't been well this past week, otherwise I would have been able to have done this video a lot sooner. I did just do a Vampire Diaries video and I was on track to finishing that early, but then yep, I got hit with an illness and I still have remnants of a really sore throat, so I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit weird in this video. I am currently reading One Piece for the very first time and I am now on the Enies Lobby arc, which is the third arc in the Water 7 saga, so no spoilers for the future in the comments please. I mean, please do chat to me about One Piece down below, but make sure that you don't reveal anything that happens after the Enies Lobby arc. But you guys have been awesome and not spoiling anything for me, so I have no worries about that. So the Enies Lobby arc is 3 chapters longer than the Water 7 arc. That was 53 chapters. Enies Lobby is 56 chapters, and it covers chapters 375 through to 430. Wow, I got it right. And the chapters are in volumes 39 through to 44 of the English translated volumes. So if you're following along, and I love the fact that people are following along with me reading One Piece, and for the first time too. So make sure you've done your homework, make sure you get the volumes you need for this video, and let's read Enies Lobby for the first time together. I absolutely do not need to waffle on in this introduction, I'm just gonna get straight into reading. So before we continue, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoy it, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I do have a playlist in the description box with all of my One Piece videos, and there are going to be way more to come in the future. Now bring on the pain. Enies Lobby already fills me with so much dread. The way that the island looks and how like there's these huge gates and there's loads of marines around and they go through and it's kind of bottomless. Frankie can't even see the bottom of this place. There are like waterfalls. I mean, it looks pretty lush. It looks really, really good. But because of the whole like waterfalls around the actual Enies Lobby island thing and the way that it just feels like so well protected, makes me feel like, and Oda has already said this in the story, that it is somewhere where people don't really come back out of. When a criminal goes there, they never do get out. And the fact that this is a nightless island, like the sun is always on this island, there is no nighttime. That's also a really cool juxtaposition to like these feelings of dread and terror because this is a place where people can't escape from. I find that so interesting. And we already start off with the story being at 100. So we do have Frankie and Robin, they're still together on the Puffing Tom, and they do arrive at Enies Lobby. And this is the thing that we were trying to prevent them to do in the previous arc, but obviously they weren't fast enough to reach them. So the worst case scenario, which was them actually getting to Enies Lobby, has already happened. And I can't think of a more exciting start to an arc in One Piece history. We've already lost our goal of stopping them from getting there, and I feel like that's going to set the stage really well for this arc in general, because we saw at the end of Water 7 just how much they were fighting back. Like Sanji was going up and down the train and he was about to get there. The Sniper King as well, who I mistakenly said was Usopp. I'm so stupid. Oh, the wind carries my name from Sniper Island, far away. Like, we ended Water 7 a little bit hopeful that we would stop them from getting to Enies Lobby, but they've already failed. And that is exciting as fuck. I'm really liking the fact that we've started off this way. And even then as well, because what was her name again? Yokomona, the frog, has jumped in front of the train and it separated the train itself. So the Frankie family are with the Sniper King and Sanji, And then we have like Luffy and everyone on the Rocket Man, but they're all headed to Enies Lobby. So I do think maybe in the next chapter or so, we will have Luffy arrive. It's already too late. And I'm like, oh, I know this is about Robin, but I couldn't help but think, Frankie, are you talking to me right now? When Frankie was saying, your existence isn't a crime. Now I can enforce a lot of feelings on that statement. I really can. And it just makes Robin that more relatable to me. I genuinely, I feel like Robin's fast becoming my favourite character. There's just so much I love about her, and there's so much relatability there that I think already starting off this way with the Enies Lobby arc, like my heart is 100% in it. I need her to escape, I need her to be rescued, or whatever. Just get the fuck out of there. And because Robin's such a fantastic character, my investment levels are at 100. So yeah, it was a really great start to it. I love the fact that Robin and Frankie are together, and Frankie can give her some sort of, I guess he kind of reminds me of the Straw Hats, because the way he's so like infatuated by Enies Lobby when he arrives there, he is looking around and he's like so amazed by the fact that he can't see the bottom when he arrives through Enies Lobby, and he's looking down and yeah, there's the waterfalls. He's just like amazed. It definitely reminds me of Luffy a little bit actually, and I feel like having Frankie with Robin is going to be so helpful to her to remember what the Straw Hats are like, because Robin is doing this for the Straw Hats. She wants to save and protect them. So I worry that she's going to be so headstrong in her position of, you know, disregarding the Straw Hats so that she can save them, that she will lose herself because she doesn't have the Straw Hats with her, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want her to lose her amazing personality and her amazing persona because she's away from the Straw Hats. I feel like Frankie is that sort of bridge between them, if that makes sense. And I honestly didn't think this way about Frankie when I started the Water 7 arc. This is a total turnaround for me. And I'm ready to punch Spandam already. I seriously can't handle that fucker. I hate him so much. And I'm worried about what he's going to be like when he's confronted with Frankie and Robin. We are already full belt in the action. Luffy's just like propelled himself over the gate, even though he said like, wait, will you? Because I've got a plan. The Frankie family were going to, you know, well, they said about them going first and distracting the guards and fighting them, because the less people that the Straw Hats have to fight, the better it'll be for them, because then the pointless fighting will, you know, be over because they'll take care of it, stuff like that, you know. It was a really good plan. And then Luffy just propelled himself over the gate, just like, where's Robin? I mean, I love it. I do wish that he'd go with other people's plans sometimes, but it really does show you just how much he's willing to do anything in order to get his friends back, to save his friends. He is an absolute freaking amazing person. A role model to us all. However, do not try that at home. It's also so funny that I feel like the Sniper King's going to be like one of my favourite characters as well, because at the start of the chapter when he's introducing himself to Luffy and Chopper and he's like, I'm the Sniper King, and Luffy is just automatically like, wow, he's a hero, he has a cape, so he must be a hero. And then Chopper's like, really, is that all you need to be a hero, is a cape? And he's like, yeah. The childlike wonder, honestly, like you have the clash between the violence and sometimes the bloody gore of the fights of the series, and then you have characters like Luffy and Chopper who just are imbued with so much childlike wonder and imagination that you just can't help but feel so taken by them, because there's some part in all of us where we want to continue our childlike innocence and our childlike imaginations, you know? Everything was just so much more easier as a child. You know, if you are a character like Luffy or Chopper, and I know Chopper is still quite young, I think he's the youngest Straw Hat, but like there's always a point where we have to sort of grow up and face reality, and I hope Luffy never has to grow up. I hope he never has to face that reality. I mean, I do want him to learn all of the lessons that he needs to, but I hope he never drops his childlike wonder, his childlike imagination, because moments like at the start of the chapter when he meets the Sniper King, I never want those moments to go away. It's part of the charm. Chopper asks, where is Sniper Island? And the Sniper King says, inside your hearts. Nami's like, where again? You know, and everyone's saying that it's Usopp. Everyone is saying that it's Usopp, even though Luffy and Chopper are absolutely flabbergasted at this brand new hero that's just presented themselves to to them. Sniper King from Sniper Island. I'm a friend of Mr. Usopp's. He asked me to lend you a hand in these circumstances, so here I am. Oh, I just love how much they're enamored by it. He's a hero. I thought he might be because of the cape. Awesome. I've never seen a real hero before. And yet Luffy doesn't realize that he is a hero. Like, he is definitely a hero. He's saved so many people, and he's like, I've never met a hero before. It's just like, you can tell Luffy doesn't think that highly of himself. We are on full assault now at the gates. We're going to get into Enies Lobby. I'm dreading it, but I cannot wait for Robin and the Straw Hats to get back together. I need them to get back together. I miss her being part of the Straw Hats. Also, I'm glad that the layout of the Enies Lobby location has been mapped out. This happens a few times whenever we're introduced to a new location. I love the fact that Oda can take the time to just give us one panel that allows me to figure out where everything is. So at Enies Lobby, they have their current location, which is outside the main gate. Then there's the Island Gate, the Courthouse, the Tower of Law, and the Gates of Justice. And just saying all of this, just to refresh our memories, I'm sure we got some kind of map on it in the Water 7 arc, but to refresh our memories, it's perfect, it's brilliant. I love the fact that Oda takes the time to let us get up to speed. He really does help us to visualize where everything is. I do also love the panel where Luffy is looking at Enies Lobby for the first time. It's like, what the heck is this place? That's an awesome hole. It's like the island is floating. Again, it's pretty much like the same kind of reaction as Frankie. I really do feel like Frankie and Luffy are more alike than I initially thought. And then he's fighting his way through. Where's Robin? Oh, I just love it. Anyway, in the words of Elsa from Frozen, let the storm rage on. Oh my god, I don't want to stop reading. But oh my god, the ending of this chapter. There are 10,000 soldiers on Enies Lobby. Yeah, I'm by myself. Get out of my way. Luffy, I mean, it's scary. Have you seen how many soldiers there are? As much as I'm shaking, like, oh, good grief, I'm like, I can't wait to see how this unfolds. But also, giants. We have giants back, so I'm really glad that we had the little garden arc and we met those giants on that island so that I can see them as not bad people or like enemies, really. Because a lot of the times when there are giants in war and they're on the other side, I really just assume that all giants are bad. I know that's not the case, but you know, it's great to see the giants are back. And they are gatekeepers. They are the island gatekeepers. And they are towering over everyone else. Like, they are... I mean, of course, because they're giants, but like still, you know? But it was just like every single panel of this chapter was just fighting. And it was Luffy against the Marines. It was the Frankie family after them. And oh my god, I was like... Where do I look? I absolutely love the Gum Gum Ally robot. That was so cool. And the fact that Luffy could control a Marine and get him to sort of fight for him as he was on his back. And then when he jumps up, when his back's wide open and lands on the other two Marines as they take him out. It's just so cool and so perfect. I need to see this acted out. I need to watch the anime adaptation of this arc as soon as I'm done. I will do the Japanese with English subtitles, of course. I believe the DVDs do have that option, so as much as I do quite enjoy the English dub, just saying. Anyway, sorry, back to the action. There is just action. There was just action. Luffy's asking politely, excuse me, but do you think you could let me through? No matter how politely you ask, I can't allow that. It's so funny. Like, the fact that he can take on so many people at once and still have that sense, again, of just like being a child. It's just a child. And yet managing to literally wipe the floor with everyone. Seeing the Frankie family be part of the fight as well. Do you know how much I love them now? Do you know how much I love them? And do you know how much I hated them when I was introduced to them in the previous arc? I was like, I want these people... Well, I didn't... No, I was about to say something really bad. I didn't want anything that bad to happen to them, I promise. But I was so against them. I really didn't like them to begin with. But to see them fight for Frankie, but also to help the Straw Hats, I love it. Just seeing all of their tactics too and how they sort of communicate with one another so that they can proceed to fight. Like, again, the sisters, I love the sisters so much. I can't remember their names anymore. Yeah, the fact that they're like, go left, roger that. And it's just like, they work so brilliantly together. I love it. But I wonder how they will fare against the giants. That's the only thing. Oh, but the end... The end, I can't wait to see Luffy take on 10,000 soldiers. I mean, he might not have to. It might not get to that point where he has to take them on. I don't know, he might escape. He might realise that, oh, maybe I should take stock, get back to my Straw Hats, and do this the proper way. Because I'm sure there is a proper way of doing this. This is the Luffy way of doing this, which I guess is just as effective. Yeah, I'm just going to continue. I finished the volume. I finished volume 39. So now I'm on volume 40. And I think once I've done this volume, I will order myself a Chinese, I think. Okay, so the Frankie family are making their way through and carving a path so that the Rocket Man with the straw hats on can get through. I love how Nami's still trying to get the Sniper King to admit that he's Usopp. Just wait till she learns. The poor Frankie family, honestly, they really don't have that much of a chance against the Giants, but they still fight, and they fight really hard. And even though their kind of main force was taken down in one swoop, they were like, we can't let Frankie down, he's on the other side of this gate, we need to get to him, and let's put up a fight that will make him proud. Doing things for your friends and your family like that, again, is just such a brilliant message. I loved the part where Spandam was on the snail phone and the Marine was talking to him, saying how many casualties there were because of Luffy. And he's like, 400 guards. He was like, what? 400 guards what? Like, that Luffy's taken down, and he can't believe it because he's just one person. And then the Marine saying, oh, hang on, 500. And it's just like, he took down another 100 more. I'm like, yes, he bloody is. He is so overpowered. The poor Marines just have no chance. They have absolutely no chance against him. But that's like, what, the 4th action-packed chapter in a row. I can't take it anymore. Okay, this Chief Justice guy is probably the scariest looking thing I've seen yet. 3-headed, and he's called Baskerville. 3-headed Baskerville. Chief Justice Enies Lobby. But I love the fact that one of them's like, a pirate, pirates are guilty, and another head is like, don't say that, let's let him off. So it feels like this 3-headed Baskerville dude is probably always at odds with his own heads, or like his own thoughts, and I don't know. In the face of Luffy literally not being able to be stopped. I love that. Baskerville says we'll compromise and give him the death penalty. I'm like, that's not really a compromise. Straw Hat Luffy cannot be stopped. He is wreaking havoc on this entire island. Again, like the build up to this island, the way that it sounds and the way that it's being built up as this impenetrable force, and Straw Hat Luffy is making this entire island his bitch. That's what he's doing. Spandam and Frankie face to face for the first time in, I think it was 8 years. I love that Frankie, just like Luffy again, without thinking about the consequences, just launched himself at Spandam and started biting his head off. I wish he had have succeeded. I feel like it would probably bring this arc to a close a lot earlier than expected, but there's like a lot of blood coming out of his head. It looks very painful. So surely there's some damage there, hopefully. We did meet the other members of CP9 in, I think, the first chapter of Enies Lobby, and they are a bit of a weird bunch. Jabra and Lucci seem to hate one another, so with this kind of level of infighting, that could work in our favour because they might end up accidentally destroying each other. I don't know, it just seems like it goes beyond just fun, friendly banter between these two antagonists. But they have a power level list, and Rob Lucci is at the top, followed by Kaku, Jabra, Bluno, Kumadori, Fukuro, and Fukuro has a zip on his mouth, and he's actually kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. He keeps saying things that he really should put that zip back over his mouth. And then 7th is Khalifa. And it's weird, Khalifa keeps saying that's sexual harassment to absolutely everything. It's odd. But I love that Fukuro says that Spandam has a power level of, what was it, 9. Spandam has a power level of 9, and Khalifa in 7th place has a power level of 630. Rob Lucci has a power level of 4,000, which is apparently unheard of. So it does show you how powerful and formidable these CP9 people are. And Rob Lucci himself, there's going to be an intense battle, I think. Especially since he's the one who turns into, is it like a leopard? It's a big cat. Is it a leopard? I don't really know my big cats from my big cats. I know what a lion is, I know what a tiger is, I know what a cheetah is. But is he a leopard? I think he is. But yeah, also, actually, I think someone mentioned in the comments of my Water 7 arc that each of the CP9 do turn into different animals. And I don't know if all of them do, but if they do, or unless, because there was a panel like this panel here, with the devil fruits. There was a couple of devil fruits in a chest, and Spandam is going to give them this couple of devil fruits. So I don't know who's left to have the devil fruit. I don't know if maybe they don't turn into animals, but he's going to give devil fruits to the ones that don't have devil fruits. They're going to be able to turn into something. So if they do turn into something, I feel like, I'm going to guess so wrong here, but I feel like Kaku is going to turn into like some kind of woodpecker. I think that's because he has his long nose and he does kind of look a little bit like a woodpecker. Jabra, I don't really know. Some kind of like jaguar, maybe. Bluno is most likely a bull. Like his hair, the way his hair goes, looks like he would turn into a bull. Ooh, Kumadori looks like another big cat. Maybe just a lion, maybe just a general lion. Fukuro probably turns into a frog. He looks like a big frog. And I don't know about Khalifa. Maybe some kind of flamingo. I don't know. But that might be sexual harassment. But it's interesting to see the CP9, and I think they're going to be the big bad of this arc. We're going to have to try and take all of them down. And it's really interesting because in the cover stories where you have Miss Goldenweek's big plan, a Baroque reunion, and we're seeing all of the different Baroque work agents that we haven't really seen since Alabasta or before. And it's always interesting to see antagonists after they've been taken down. And yeah, it's just like really fun to watch that happen. So even if CP9 do get taken down, they'll probably still be alive afterwards for them to be part of cover stories in the future. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to get back into it, and I am just loving it so much. The fact that the Rocket Man flew over the gate that the Frankie family were trying so hard to get open made me cackle. What was the point of opening the gate? Look, it's character building, okay? And they managed to take down a couple of the giants, and although actually now it's probably a lot scarier that we have the Courthouse Guard dog unit involved. I mean, the dogs are so cute. The dogs are very cute. But the riders, they literally impale Paulie. I was shocked for a second, but then I realised he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Everyone's always fine. But the chaos, the absolute carnage of the place. The Rocket Man's now went through the Iron Gate, just flew over, crash landed now in the main part, and everywhere's just kind of messed up. They've caused such a mess. There is no stealth involved. But to be honest, that's me as a player when I'm playing video games. Whenever a game says, oh, you can use stealth to take down all the enemies, I'm just like, no, let's just get straight in there. Let's just cut to the chase. And that's exactly what they've done. Really just a lot more fighting. It was really great to see the sea train flying through the air, though. It was really great to see that. Oh, and also the frog, Kokoro. I didn't mention this, I think it was in the first chapter, when the granny was talking to Kokoro and saying, you jumped in front of the sea train that many times so that you could get stronger. Well, why don't you show us your strength now? And so Kokoro has joined them and managed to knock forward the gate. So I thought that was a really great, touching way of rounding out Kokoro and their story. And again, like, Kokoro's just like a side character, just like this big frog. But yet, they've had quite a big impact, literally a big impact, on the Straw Hats getting inside Enies Lobby. It's just working out beautifully. I say that now, it's all going to go to shit, isn't it? Well, shall we follow him? Yes, you should. I absolutely love the panel of the 5 of them too. So good. And with Sniper King too. Oh my gosh, when Sniper King's mask fell off and he looked just like Usopp. But I guess a lot of people look like Usopp, don't they? So, and this was also Nami's time to shine, but also hilarious that she used her climate baton and did this Thunderbolt thing. Thunderbolt tempo, and then even she kind of gets blasted by it. It was that powerful. It looked... I just love their faces when things like that happen. Oda has a great way of demonstrating human emotion through the face. Like, he can make it seem so serious and yet so slapstick at the same time. It's so funny. I also love the fact that she also got Zoro and Sanji with it. And Sanji, even in the background, is like, Nami, I just recall the electricity I felt when I first met you. I do appreciate where in the background we have Sanji still being a simp. And I must admit, like, he's making me laugh more and more with it. Whereas a lot of the times, I think in some of the like Skypiea arc and stuff, I was getting rather bored with it. Was it the Skypiea arc? In previous arcs, I was getting a little bit bored with it. But I'm actually starting to find it funny again. And again, like him and Zoro, their banter, the way that they also clash is so funny. And it juxtaposes Lucci and the other guy whose name I haven't quite remembered yet. Oh, Jabra actually looks like a snake. If Jabra's going to turn into anything, it's probably going to be a snake. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of like Lucci and Jabra, Zoro and Sanji, except Zoro and Sanji, they can work together, and that's what the Long Ring Long Land arc demonstrated, that they can still fight, but they can fight everyone around them as well as they're fighting each other, which is a skill. It's a great skill. And I can't wait for Sanji to get a bounty. Like, he really wants one because he feels so inferior. Well, I don't know if he feels like inferior in that regard, but Zoro does rile him up by saying he doesn't even recognize you, so you must be worse than a stooge. You're Pirate A. And that does rile Sanji up. So yeah, I can see him really wanting a bounty, and I hope he gets one. I don't know if it'll ever get higher than Zoro's though, but we'll see. A lot of fighting still, a lot of fighting's going on. I love when Paulie tells Zoro in regards to the Galila ship company people he worked with for 5 years. He tells Zoro, if you meet them, tell them they're fired. Oh, what an apprentice moment. I love that. I am ready for the Straw Hats to reunite with Luffy, though. I am ready for that. This chapter took a seriously dark turn. A few things, like a few reasons why it took a dark turn. The first one that really kind of took the air out of my lungs was when Spandam hit Robin. Like that moment right there, I was like, he just hit me. It felt like he hit me. It was just so vicious. I'm not even going to show the panel to you. It's so upsetting. And the reason why he does that is because Robin questions, why did Okiji give you authority for a Buster Call? So was a Buster Call actually granted? Like, were they actually given permission by Okiji to do that? Or was that just a ruse to get Robin to work for them? Interesting, I'm sure I'll find out soon. But then he just smacks her so violently. It's awful. Honestly, it hurts. That was a really hard panel to watch. Oh, yeah. I guess to watch, yeah. The way he's saying that she's a disgusting child of O'Hara, the devil's land. If I had not recognized the value of your existence, it all would have come to nothing. You should be thankful to me. The fact that he's trying to make Robin feel worthless, and that, again, like, her existence is a crime, she shouldn't be here. I can already feel myself starting to tear up. It needs to stop. Robin also realizes that the Straw Hats are still in danger, which is the total opposite of what she wanted. And the CP9 Spandam did say that he would let them sail safely from Water 7, but now they're at Enies Lobby, there's not really an agreement there. I guess there was some sort of promise to protect them. I mean, even if it was a play on words and there was an easy loophole in his promise, there was just no way that he was going to let the Straw Hats get away. So Robin probably feels like now she has made all the wrong decisions leading up to this moment, because she probably can't feel like she can protect the Straw Hats anymore. Like, it's out of her power. So that's a really sobering moment in this chapter. And especially since we've had quite a lot of fun fighting up to this point, it did feel a little bit of a turning point. And for a second, I thought Lucci might turn against Spandam in the future, because Lucci says, I'm not interested in status or power, and Spandam says, what? Lucci says, the world government decides justice for us. As long as the government recognises you as leader of CP9, we will carry out our orders to the letter, but we don't have to agree with your ideals. So I sniffed a little bit of rebellion there. I really did. But then Spandam says, you're right, but what is it you want then? And then this kind of really scary panel of Lucci in his leopard form, and he says, blood. When we're here, murder is justified. So even if he doesn't have the same ideals as Spandam, he still wants to kill. Like, there is no kind of grey area there. He does just genuinely seem like a bad person. And I know I say a lot of, I can't really trust the way that character's introduced, because half the time I end up changing my mind about them. Like Lucci, actually, I thought Lucci was a good person when we saw him in Water 7, and the opposite to Frankie, but now that's totally flipped around. But I do genuinely think that there is no redeeming Lucci or CP9. I think they are clear-cut villains. I think they are, and I can say that 100% they are villains. But I'm also open to being proven wrong. Luffy is further ahead than everyone. They're going to try and get to Luffy, of course. But Luffy is like at the pretty much the end of Enies Lobby. There is one more sort of island that he needs to get to, but there's no bridge or anything to get there. But then Blue Note comes out of a door out of thin air, because I believe Blue Note was the one with the door power from the Devil Fruit, I think. And he confronts Luffy and he says, no one's ever made it as far as the entrance to the government. How long do you plan to keep on fighting? And Luffy says, until I die. He would die for Robin, and she's the newest member of the Straw Hats. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter how long you've known Luffy or how long Luffy has known you. He will die for you. He knows what's right. He knows what to do. He knows Robin's too valuable a person as a person, not because she knows how to decipher the ultimate weapon or whatever. It's because she's a person. He sees her as a person, and dare I say it, he loves her. Dare I say it, I know I love her, and I think everyone should love her. So yeah, it's intense, but I know that Robin has a whole team behind her, and I'm at the forefront. But for some reason, I don't feel like giving up. We only had really the start of the Blue Note and Luffy fight. I do think it's going to go on a little bit longer, but Luffy is unstoppable. He's definitely stronger, and even Blue Note says this, like, wow, he's more stronger than he was in Water 7. When he has that goal in his head and he knows what he wants, and one of his Straw Hat friends are in danger, and he's just like, yeah, I want to keep going until I get Robin back. And he just continues to say that even when Blue Nose tells him that, you know, the whole world government's going to be against you, you have no future if you get any closer, if you get any further into Enies Lobby, you are going to have no future. Again, like, Luffy's like, he's getting ready to, you know, whack him one. Say whatever you want, I want Robin back. It's like there's no telling Luffy. Yeah, there are so many countries that have made this organization and they're all working together. So yeah, this is a huge crime that they're doing, that they're undergoing as they're trying to save Robin. But again, that's just falling on deaf ears. Luffy is not going to stop. As soon as the Sniper King got to one of the giant gods who was on the floor, and they were crying because they failed their mission, and they were talking about how they were only working for the government because the government told them that their two comrades, Dory and Broggy, they were captured, but if they work for the government for 100 years, then they will be released and saved. But obviously that's not the case. Dory and Broggy are on Little Garden, and as soon as Usopp hears the giant story and how he's crying because he failed the government and that he won't get Dory and Broggy back, that's when the Sniper King said, hey, I know the truth. The government have lied to you. And then the Giants joined their side. And honestly, as soon as I saw them interact, I was like, this was the moment I was waiting for, especially since Usopp loved the idea of Elbaf, which was where the Giants come from. And he loved the idea of being a warrior of them and the whole giant concept. He loved it all. And it's great to have that circle back and to have Usopp / Sniper King deliver that and to get them to join the fight on their side rather than fight against them. That was a brilliant moment. That was so good. And another little, you know, tie back to Little Garden, and just, yeah, that just fits so beautifully. We didn't get Luffy and Blue Nose fighting in this. We did get like a panel of them looking at each other, but it seems like that part slowed down a little bit. And apparently there are 7 jurors that are getting called. Oh no, let loose the 11 righteous jurors. And they're saying, are you serious? They'll crush the whole town. So I'm kind of scared to see what these jurors look like. In all honesty, I feel like that's going to be a huge sway in the battle. I mean, we've had a great sway in the right side, on our side, with the Giants joining our side. But the 11 jurors, like, what does that mean? What do they look like? It's terrifying me. It's scary. And it seems like a drawbridge will come down from the tower to the final tower. So at least that's how they will get over. But they just need to get there. I feel like Luffy needs to beat Blue Nose in order to progress. So at least that will be one of the CP9 down. But that will still mean there's, I think, 6 more to go? Plus Spandam. Okay, the thing that's the most interesting to note about this chapter is that Koku and Khalifa both ate one of the devil fruits. I have no idea what powers they're going to get, even they don't know, but it was interesting to see, or at least get a little bit more lore behind the devil fruits, because one of the other people explained it, I can't remember which one, but there was a story of someone who ate more than one devil fruit, and their body sort of broke down. Blue Nose said, there was an example of someone who ate 2, his body fractured until there was nothing left of it, and he died. And I did wonder, because having the devil fruits would give you such great power, depending on what devil fruit you get, of course, but still it would give you power. So if you didn't like your power, like, could you eat another one and have like 2 powers? That's what I always kind of thought. But no, it seems like the more devil fruits you have, and I guess obviously it would be bad for you, but I just didn't really think too deeply about it before. And we've seen people with devil fruit powers quite a lot spring up in the series, but we haven't really had anybody who has eaten a devil fruit in front of us. You know, this is the first time, at least I think so. I can't quite remember, but we haven't seen someone in a very long time eat a devil fruit for the first time. So it'll be interesting to see what they get. Koku has like some kind of banana looking one. So I don't know, like, does he transform into a monkey or something? And then Khalifa's just looks like a normal egg sort of shaped devil fruit. So I'm very interested to see what happens with them. The fight is still raging. Nothing else to say. I'm super intrigued to know who keeps taking the snail phone off the hook in the place where Spandam is. I didn't mention it before, but it kept happening, and I just thought it was some kind of gag, some kind of recurring joke. It's come up again, and even Spandam's like, who keeps doing that? And I'm like, yeah, who keeps doing that? Is there somebody on the inside of Enies Lobby who is on our side? Is there someone in CP9 who's going to betray them? Like, this is food for thought. I could be totally wrong, but it's food for thought indeed. Spandam has been told as well that over 2,000 men in the Marines, the people at Enies Lobby, have been defeated by Straw Hat Luffy, Captain Straw Hat Luffy. And Spandam looks like he's shitting himself. Absolutely shitting himself. I love the fact that Frankie's laughing his head off. And Robin looks concerned still. She is still like, she's probably relieved inside that Luffy's as strong as he looks. But she knows deep down that this isn't the place where Luffy should be, and it could get him in so much more trouble because she is very level-headed. She thinks ahead. Zoro is slashing his way through the big gate to the courthouse, which is the last place they need to get to. So I'm hoping, because it's been dragged out a little bit, I'm hoping that Luffy will reunite with the Straw Hats in the next chapter or the one after that. In this volume, at least. I have a couple of chapters left in this volume. I just want them to get back together. Absolutely loved this panel, though, with Zoro and Sanji and all of the carnage behind them. Loved that. Oh, and Spandam does bring out the Buster Call thing. It looks like one of those snail phones, but it looks like it might be solid steel, solid gold. I don't know what it is, but it looks different to the rest of them. And the button on the top as well, where this one button, an island will disappear. That is far too much power for a dickhead like Spandam. Gear 2? What the fuck's Gear 2? Is Luffy, like, gonna explode or something? He's steaming up. Someone needs to take him off the stove so he doesn't combust. But the fact that Luffy says, even if I'm not that strong, I have friends I want to be with. I've got to be stronger than everyone or I lose them. You can really feel the desperation in this right now, and the fact that he's steaming. He is actually steaming. I quite like Blue Nose's powers though, of like the door thing, because he was able to move Luffy's head like a revolving door. And I mean, as silly as it sounds, it still worked pretty effectively. It looks like the Frankie family are going to take on Baskerville, and they call him Cerberus, which is so funny because, yeah, that's what he reminded me of, the three-headed guard dog. It's great that Oda can take those inspirations and make them into weird people. So like having a Cerberus person, especially since he's the Chief Justice of Enies Lobby, it'll be so satisfying for them to get taken down because they're so annoying. The amount of times they keep shouting, I'm just like, shut up. I love the fact that not a single person is paying attention to them. They have all of this authority, but what does it actually matter in the face of all of this? The pirates have literally taken over. The Frankie family have taken over, the Straw Hats, the Galila company, you know, just everyone is kind of just banded together, and it doesn't even matter what they're saying. They're being talked over, and they literally have no authority right now. So it'll be so satisfying to see the Frankie family kick their ass. I think they've only got one ass. 3 heads, but only 1 ass. And the way Zoro simply can't follow instructions, running up the entirely wrong direction, even though Nami said, I said the stairs, why is he going that way? And he says, shut up, I couldn't understand your directions, that's not my fault. I need to find out what this Gear 2 is. Is this like a new move? A new power move? Does it ignite him? Because why is he smoking? Why is he steaming? Stop, I'll already get emotional. Robin, I've come for you. Oh, and she heard. Frankie said he came. Robin says, Luffy? Oh, I'm gonna get so emotional. When they get reunited, I'm gonna be so happy. However, he's gonna have to hurry his arse up because they're about to get transferred to the Gates of Justice. And when that happens, they won't be able to get back through. Oh, it was such a cool chapter. But that Gear 2 thing, he was using the 6 powers that the CP9 have mastered. Essentially, Luffy's a Pokemon. He's kind of evolved, or at least he's evolved his... Oh, God, it's so uncomfortable on the floor. This is the only place I like to film now. He's essentially evolved some of his techniques and powers. The Gear 2 is, I guess, hard to explain because I don't know how to explain it. Just that his speed and mobility is just 10 times better than it was before. And Bluno is shitting himself. He can't believe it. He's saying he's using the shave technique and using it perfectly. And the shave technique, I think, is one of the 6 powers that the CP9 have mastered. So if Luffy can also master them and be on the same level as CP9, then there's going to be no stopping him when we get that confrontation with them. Oh, it's so intense. The fact that Luffy is evolving. He is evolving. He's becoming the... his fighting skills. I mean, yes, I love the whole gum pistol, gum jet rocket, shitty me Bobby, everything like that. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's so good to see the evolution, the power getting more powerful. And again, I'm just like, Luffy, you've just already taken down like 2,000 men. Should you be more powerful? Should you? I freaking love it. Oh, and he's gonna say Robin soon, I think, I hope. Robin, I've come for you. Oh, I love this. There's this whole One Piece Enies Lobby battle layout right after this at the end of the volume. Oh, that's so cool. Tower of Law, Gates of Justice. There's Luffy at the courthouse with Blue No. Blue No is faded out, so he's definitely down. So that's one of the CP9 members down. So that's awesome. The Straw Hat Gang fighting in the courthouse for the Frankie family. So yeah, they're pretty much at the same place, according to this. The Sniper King isn't with them, though. But anyway, what an awesome volume. What an awesome volume. So volume 40, can't believe 40, I've done 40 full volumes of One Piece. Volume 41. Oh, and there's Robin as a child. No. Oh man, this backstory. And this one's going to be Robin's backstory. It's what I wanted in the Water 7 arc. I said, oh, is this Black Page spread going to be Robin's backstory? Turned out not. Turned out to be Tom's workers. It was Tom's workers, wasn't it? Tom's workers backstory. So we got to see more of Iceberg and Frankie, which was great. Honestly, I love those flashbacks. But now it's going to be Robin's turn, and look at how cute she is. This is going to hurt. This is where I'm going to start crying, isn't it? I was going to call it a night after this volume, but this goes up to chapter 399. I'm not stopping at 399. Don't be daft. Oh no, Robin, don't say that. Why did you come to save me? Did I ever ask you to come? I just want to die. No, Robin, you don't mean it. You don't mean it. And I know Luffy's not going to believe her either. He's never going to give up. Seriously, it doesn't matter what you tell him, Robin. He is not going to give up. And neither are any of the other Straw Hats, especially since they know exactly why you're here. I still feel like there's other things that we need to uncover, which is why we're getting a lot of backstory with Robin coming up. At least it better be Robin. I can't be wrong again. It has a little Robin on the cover, okay? It's got to be Robin's backstory. Frankie does say it seems like you're still running away from something. Are you afraid that your friends are going to die here? If you keep turning away, they won't be able to save you. I just feel like there's going to be loads of things at play here. Things that... I mean, one, she definitely doesn't want that Buster Call thing to happen. But if she can just get that snail thing, the Buster Call thingy-mabobby, away from Spandam, then she should be fine, right? They'll be fine from the Buster Call, right? So that should be the plan. That should be the plan of action. I love that Frankie really does help with Robin too. And it's hilarious when they say... But director, Frankie's butt is expanding. And you see Frankie sitting there with a massive arse. And Spandam like, what's going on? Is it constipation? But no, Frankie's going to threaten to blow them up. But it's making Spandam feel like a bit more of a comical antagonist right now. I do feel like his threats are serious and he does still have that Buster Call. But he is very gullible. So I don't think he is... No, I shouldn't say it because I should never underestimate anyone. But it seems at the minute he is just... a big pain in the ass. That's what he seems to be like at the minute. It's CP9 who we still have to worry about. The end panel, the panel spread with them all, that was intense. And I'm a little bit scared now if all of them take on Luffy at once. That is going to be quite scary. But, you know, Luffy's already done it once, he'll do it again. Oh, I'm getting chills. Why? Are we getting some of like the best panels, the best illustrations, the best moments ever in the One Piece series so far? I'm literally getting cold. I've had the heating on for ages and it is hot, but I'm actually getting cold from this. The end panel, the end with them all started to, in fact, even just building up to this moment when they were each one by one. I mean, there's Luffy picking his nose, right? Because he was already the first one there, of course. And he's talking to Robin. He's picking his nose. He's like, why would you want to die? We're all here, silly. Then you just see like Zoro coming up from the floor, Chopper getting blasted through the floor, Nami coming up through the floor. You see the Sniper King coming down from the sky, Sanji coming out through smoke saying, undoubtedly I was the first one here, even though he was like really the last. And then they're all standing there. And then, oh God, Robin's face as well though before that. Luffy says, if you want to die or whatever, you can say whatever you want, but you have to say it to our faces. And they're all shouting, he's right, Robin. Robin, come back. Just leave the rest to us. Oh, and they're all standing there. Oh my God. Oh, I feel like Robin right now, actually. I'm holding back the tears. I just love all of them so much. I do. Oh, God, I can't even speak about anything else on this chapter, just the end of it. Because it's just so fantastic. I'm just smiling so much at how they're gonna do this for Robin. Look at them all standing there, facing capital punishment to save Robin. I'm repeating myself. I'm not ready though. The next chapter is called The Girl They Called a Demon, and I feel like this might be the start of the flashbacks. Oh God, I'm literally gonna cry already. And I don't think this is why people cry at it, but like, oh yeah, this is the start of Robin's flashback. Well, before this, Spandam does threaten to use the Buster Call, so like everything is kicking off at the minute. There's just so much loudness and danger, and Robin doesn't want this to happen at all. So it's a great segue into starting these flashbacks. So yeah, this is 20 years before in the West Blue or horror. Poor little Robin. She's 8 years old, and she has her devil fruit power. She can do the thing, you know what I mean? But people keep calling her a monster. Found the monster, commence attack, get her. They throw a stone at her, and then the parent of one of the child goes, my child says you suddenly hit him for no reason. Don't go near him again. You were such a weird kid. Not my Robin. Oh, my heart is breaking already. Even the aunt that she stays with, because it seems like she's not with her parents, she's staying with her Aunt Rogie. There's a note that's left in the house saying, to Robin, today's my daughter's birthday, so just the three of us are going out to dinner. There is bread, so please fix yourself dinner. Don't use too much jam. And then gives her a list of chores to do. So it's like they've left 8-year-old Robin on the day of the aunt's daughter's birthday and like not let her come along with them for food. Why? That's so mean. That's so mean. Oh, bless her. She's so small and cute. I want to protect her so bad. The Tree of Knowledge, though, the O'Hara Library and Archaeological Research Centre, looks amazing. It looks incredible. I would want to be there. That's where I would go all the time. And Robin goes there by herself, and she sees the archaeologists of O'Hara, they're all celebrating her because she passed an exam. She passed the doctoral exam with a perfect score. I'm so proud of her. She deserves it. And of course she did pass it with perfect score because she's the best. She's Robin. Oh, from this day forward, you can call yourself an archaeologist. Look at the smile on her face. Look at how happy she is. Oh, this is what I want, but the people are hurting her. The other kids are horrible to her and call her a monster. Oh, it's breaking my heart already. And it's like the first half chapter with a backstory. I feel like backstories should be disallowed in the One Piece series, even though I love them so much. And they bring out so much emotion in me. I'm just like, I can't deal with this. I can't. Oh my God, we've met another character with a D initial, Jaguar D Soul. And then Robin asks D, and he says, I don't know why, but every member of my family has that middle initial. But why? What is the relevance of this D business? There are so many characters now with the D initial. Well, not so many characters, but more characters than I was anticipating. I didn't expect there to be some kind of D mystery throughout this entire thing. But the more people who reveal they have a D initial, I'm like, why? Why? It's so beautiful seeing the kind of friendship blossom between Jaguar and Robin, especially since he makes her laugh with his laugh, and then she has to stop herself. She realizes that she's just laughed, and he says, you have a cute laugh, you should laugh more. And she's blushing. She's like, oh, did I just like let myself go for a second there? And he even realizes, you seem to have a lot of hurt. You seem to have a lot of hurt on your shoulders. You should be a child. You should be laughing more. Laughing makes you happy. And when you're happy, you laugh and all of that. And it's such a huge thing for Robin because I feel like even as an adult, even as we've seen her with the Straw Hats, I still feel like she has been having a hard time just letting herself go and letting herself get carried away with all of the frolicking and the weirdness that Luffy and the crew do. Like she has sort of, I feel like she's dipped her toe in, but she hasn't fully thrown herself into the absurdities of the Straw Hats. But I can see she's willing. I can see she really wants to. And I feel like some of the reasons why she hasn't has to do with what happened 20 years ago at O'Hara. A lot of Robin's drive and her goals as an adult seem to stem from this moment in time too, especially since she says she wants to unravel the mystery of the void in history. And even knowing about that is forbidden because Professor Clover is saying, no, it's still taboo. And other archaeologists and people who have sought out history have died for it. And there is a poneglyph here, and the archaeologists there are trying to decipher it in the basement. They're trying to unravel some of its secrets. And Robin isn't allowed anywhere near it because she is still a child. But she does reveal that she has been like kind of sneakily looking in with her powers so that she knows about the poneglyph and stuff. But she runs away. Oh, hello, Tobo. She runs away because they tell her that she can't keep doing that. Otherwise, she will be forbidden from the library forever. So that's quite scary. And then we do see a Navy ship, which is CP9 from 20 years before, coming towards the island. And I feel like this is when things are going to be really bad, especially since we have the knowledge that O'Hara does get obliterated. The whole island goes up in smoke. We know this. So there is a ticking time bomb on it, and it makes me more uncomfortable knowing that this entire place is not safe and it will meet a grisly end. Half the time when we've had a flashback, I don't really know the outcome. Like Tom, for instance, in the Water 7 arc, I didn't know his outcome. And several other backstories as well. I don't fully know what's going to happen at the end of the flashbacks. But I know that O'Hara doesn't have a happy ending. And that makes it harder. That makes it feel even worse reading through it. Because I'm like, okay, the next page could be when it happens. The next page could be when it happens. And with CP9 coming towards them, I feel like we are getting closer and closer to the moment that will change Robin forever. So many interesting things are happening right now. And we also got to meet Admiral Okiji as a youngin'. He hasn't really changed that much, I guess. But Kuzan, Navy Headquarters Vice Admiral, later to become Admiral Okiji. But the biggest thing that we learn in this chapter is Olvia, Nico Olvia, who is Robin's mother. Oh, and the fact that Robin wanted to be an archaeologist like her mum, and her mum, I think it was, 6 years before, went out with other scholars to, I think, search for a poneglyph. In doing so, I think she said there were 33 comrades who died and she was the sole survivor. And the government, the Navy, found out that they were from O'Hara. So there is a government ship on the way to O'Hara to eradicate all scholars. So Nico Olvia has a lot of guilt on her shoulders, but Robin, little Robin, wants to be like her mum, and it was the reason why she got into the archaeology stuff in the first place. Oh, isn't that so sweet? Which is why it's going to kill me when you know what'll happen. You know what's going to happen. If you're watching this, you know what happens. I don't at this current time. I know what's going to happen. I just know it's going to break me. It was also interesting to note as well that the giant who Robin is now friends with, and poor Robin, she was like so gutted when she thought that he was going to go and leave her so soon. And then he was like, you know what, actually I do need a flag. I'll stay a bit longer. So that was so sweet. But yeah, it turns out that he knows Olvia, and he realizes that Robin is Olvia's daughter. So it's interesting, that connection there. I want to know how he fully knows Olvia and like what the backstory between them is. Like, I need backstory on the backstory. I'm too intrigued by everything that's going on here. And the fact that this void in history is totally forbidden by the government. I'm like, why? What happened in these 100 years that meant the world government doesn't want anyone looking into it? Like, that's sinister as fuck. That scares the life out of me. It's a big conspiracy. There is a huge conspiracy here, and I'm shaking. I'm shaking in my pajama bottoms right now. Look at little Robin, though. I can't get over how cute little Robin is. She's just like, oh. Someday when she returns to the island, I'm going to ask her to take me to sea with her. We both know that's not going to happen. Yeah, it does look like the O'Hara scholars have been sentenced to death. But Professor Clover has said that he wants to present a hypothesis about the 100-Year Void to the Five Elders, the world's top leaders. I don't know if that's going to go, but I don't even know if that's going to happen. Just judging off what I vaguely know about what happens at O'Hara, which again is not really a whole lot. It breaks my heart though to say Olvia. Like, she can't say Robin, because if she acknowledges Robin, then it will put Robin in danger, because she will be the child of like a sort of war criminal, you know. That's kind of what they're painting Olvia as. She's wanted. She's a wanted lady. So if she claims Robin as her daughter, then Yeah, because the last time Robin saw her was when she was 2, and Robin can't remember what her mother looks like. So the fact that they're so close, they're together, but they're not together, is heartbreaking. She's been looking forward for her mother to come back after all this time, and she is back, but all of this is happening, and she doesn't even know her mother is there. It's like, could you be more tragic? Could you be more tragic? Yeah, they found the poneglyph, so that's condemned the O'Hara scholars. And everyone's telling Robin not to reveal herself as a scholar. Oh, but then the moment when Olivia looks up and she sees Robin and she says, "You've grown so much." Oh, but you can't say it to her because, yeah, she can't acknowledge her really. Ah, puts her in danger. Honestly, the government has messed up so much in this world. They've been so antagonistic. I genuinely think it's all bad. I think it's rotten to the core. Oh, Robin asking Olivia if she is her mother, and Olivia saying, "No, I'm sorry." Robin's face, like the look of hurt and disappointment in her face, it's unbearable. Kind of hard to concentrate as well because I've got my cat literally licking his balls right there. Can you stop? Can you stop, please? You're really killing the moment. Moving on. I'm Robin. I've grown some, but don't you remember me? I've waited all this time for you to come home. I had hoped one day we could hold hands and walk together. Oh, Olivia, she's crying her eyes out. It's heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. Do you understand what I'm going through right now, Ash? He's literally looking at me like, can you shut the fuck up? Let me stay with you, mother. Please don't leave me alone again. But crap, Robin also said aloud, I studied really hard and became an archaeologist. I can read the poneglyph too. Ah. That was just breaking my heart, honestly, breaking my little heart. But I was shocked when they shot Professor Clover because he revealed, and I had a bit of an inkling of this as well, because if there was this 100-year gap in history that the world government is trying to conceal, then something must have happened to put the world government in a bad light. It's something that they do not want anyone to find out. And then he says that there an existence of a kingdom and something that the government finds so threatening. And this kingdom had a name, and he was about to say what the name was when he gets shot. He just gets shot. So the people of this kingdom were trying to write a message on something that was unbreakable because obviously paper could get destroyed and things like that. So their message is so vital and so important. Like, I knew it would be important to everything. Like, I knew that since, was it Skypiea, Jaya, Alabaster? Like, ever since then, I knew that the poneglyphs would be important, but I didn't realize it'd be this important. This important, you know? I feel like saying this 3 times reiterates just how important I think it is. The people of this kingdom made sure that their history, whatever they wrote on these poneglyphs, could not be destroyed. No matter how hard they try, they just cannot destroy it. Why? Why is it that important that no risk of it being destroyed can happen? I'm just so filled with questions. And I'm getting flashbacks to Arlong Park and Nami's backstory a little bit. I really don't want anything bad to happen to Olivia. I think there was a typo as well because everyone's calling her Olivia. One of the chapters was called Olivia, but somebody said Olivia. Her name isn't actually Olivia, is it? Is it Nico Olivia? I don't know, that could have just been a typo. But they've now commenced the Buster Call. Begin simultaneous firing, target all of O'Hara, the island of archaeology. They have been evacuating people from O'Hara that aren't connected to the archaeologists, and they're trying to get Robin to also go on one of these ships. But we did get that backstory about how Robin destroyed a lot of ships, so I don't think she's going without a fight. Oh, so many interesting developments, especially with Saul. He was a vice admiral, and he ended up letting Olivia escape because he was tasked with the Buster Call, but Saul was questioning it, like, why are we eliminating so many people? Like, are they genuinely bad people? I'm going to need proof of this before I, help with this Buster Call thing. And the government person, I don't know who he was demanding that he just obeyed orders, and then Saul ended up deserting the Navy. So that kind of explains why he's been sort of on the run and a bit elusive. So that was really interesting. And it explains the connection between Olivia and him. Oh, but we actually had Robin and her mother have a moment. Like, she acknowledged her daughter and she was like, you know what, this is the end, I might as well. And what she departs on Robin as well, I feel like it's so important in their things. in morals and lessons that I feel like Robin has taken to heart, and she has shown in previous arcs, especially Skypiea, when she was saying about protecting history and learning from the past. Otherwise, you're an idiot, kind of thing. Oh, and she tells Robin that she was so impressed. Oh, when her mother like finally acknowledges her and she says Robin, and then Robin's crying and saying Mother. Oh god, like that's just the most heartbreaking thing. I've always wanted to do this for so long. I can just see how proud she is of Robin, and that's all Robin needs. That's all she ever needed. She needed, it felt like this entire town, apart from the scholars, were against her. But she just wanted her mum. This entire time, all she wanted was her mum. Now, Olivier's told Saul to take Robin and escape because history is humanity's greatest asset. It will enlighten the future that lies ahead for all of us. But knowledge of the past must be passed on to the next generation or it will disappear. So she's trying to get Robin to understand that she needs to live. She needs to escape. Otherwise, those voices of the past will just disappear. So that's why it's so important that Robin now has to leave her mum, even though they've just been reunited. It's the most heartbreaking thing. From now on, live for me. Live, Robin. Oh, and that's just tying into what's happening in the present day with Robin. And she had just told Luffy that she wanted to die. And she did. I remember she gave up on life when the poneglyph in Alabaster wasn't what she had expected. And she was ready to give up. And then Luffy saved her against her will. And it's just like so much about life and living. And yeah, but that whole panel there, Robin being taken away from her mother, crying, her mother shouting, "Live, Robin, live." The end of the chapter, though, with Saul picking up one of the ships. Jesus! Wow! That's an incredible image, but it still doesn't dull the pain that I'm feeling in my heart. Saul telling Robin to go and find her friends. He knows they're waiting out there, and we know as well. They are waiting for her. Come home, Robin. Come home. Back to the Straw Hats. I was going to say back to the Going Merry, but everything in O'Hara is essentially crumbling down. Even the evacuation ship got blasted. Robin was about to get on that, and she used her powers to try and get on it, but then like the kids were running away from her, calling her a monster and stuff. Oh, even the adults too. It's people are shit, honestly. People are shit. Fortunately, she didn't get on that evacuation ship since, it did get blasted. But I wasn't expecting Okiji to help Robin escape. He did do that ice thing on the water so that she could have a sort of runway to a boat and escape. So he allowed her to escape. I mean, he is on the government side completely, yes. He said something about justice and how justice is different to different people, but he can kind of see what's happening before his eyes. So, yeah, he does help Robin escape, which was awesome. But Robin trying to laugh like Saul on the boat, like she's trying her best, but then she just breaks down in tears. Like, what a horrible 24 hours to go through as a child, as an 8-year-old child. I feel so bad for Saul as well. He was a good one. He was one of the few good ones. So, like, I both love and hate Okiji for what he did, because he froze Saul and then let Robin go. So I'm like, dude, what do I think of you? I actually don't know. He has given me the most mixed of messages, but he is also cool and interesting. Oh, God, Robin. My heart is like, right now. It's so sad. Oh my god, I haven't finished the chapter yet, but Luffy told the Sniper King to burn the flag of the world government, and the pirates have made a declaration of war against the world government. They've literally just declared war on the entire world. For Robin. For her friend. The friends that she's been waiting for her entire life. And Luffy's like, bring it on. You really think you can survive now that the entire world's your enemy? Bring it on. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, I'm literally shaking. Robin, I still haven't heard it from your lips. Say that you want to live. Oh, and everyone's watching her live? If you can't live in this world, Robin, your very existence is your greatest crime, Robin. I didn't think I could wish for that. No one ever allowed me to wish it. You'll find your friends who will protect you. Have faith in Luffy. If it's really okay to make a little wish, I want to live. Oh, Robin. God damn it. Oh, take me to the sea with you. Oh, that's what I've been waiting for this entire time, Robin. Oh, she finally said it. After all this time, she finally said she wants to live. Oh, even Frankie's crying. I like you guys, darn it. Oh, finally the drawbridge has been lowered as well. Thank God. I'm sorry, I haven't even finished the chapter yet. Let's go. No, now I finished the chapter. I finished. Oh my God. What did I say about all of these panels in this arc? All of these moments in this arc, just one after the other, that I'm like, it's my favourite moment of the entire series. And Robin declaring that she wants to live. Oh, I want Robin to live as well. She needs to live for her mum. She needs to live for history. Shoot down that flock. They've literally just declared war on the world. Oh my God, my heart. See, I'm taking Saul's advice. I have to laugh. If I laugh, I'll be happy. I mean, I am happy. I'm just also like overwhelmed. I need to send Murphy a message and tell her, Murphy, Robin's just said she wants to live. And I'm so sad. Like, I know I'm happy because I wanted to live too, but my heart, why did you and Amber Elise do this to me? Luffy declaring war on the entire world for Robin? Are you kidding me? You and Amber Elise need to pay for your crimes. I can't believe you have put me through this. That was a great chapter. The amount of times she's been called a monster and a demon child. That level of trauma throughout her entire life, she never deserved any of that. Ever. I love her so much. I love Robin. My heart, it hurts so much. Oh, seeing Robin as well, having to run away her entire life. The amount of times that she's been taken under someone's wing so that she can help out with our jobs, and then them betraying her, turning on her, trying to get her bounty. Even the rumours that are going around, people saying, I hear she sank 6 Navy warships. Like, I thought she did, because that's what people had said in the past too. But it's just rumours. It's just rumours. All of these things that have happened in the past, let this girl live. She overhears and she has to run away. And she keeps trying to laugh like Saul. And we see her approach Crocodile. We see her really have no choice when she entered the Baroque works. The more I wish to stay with you, all the greater your risk from the fangs of my destiny. No matter how far across the sea I sail, an unshakable foe continues to pursue me. That foe is simply the world and its darkness. Someday it will become too much of a burden. Someday you'll betray me and cast me aside. It's the fact that Luffy said, I know who Robin's enemy is. Sniper King, burn that flag. Because it's the world. The world is against Robin, so Luffy is against the world. The Straw Hats are against the world. Oh, I cannot cope. I can't cope. Oh, I need to go to bed. Okay. I'm fine. I'm just going to continue on. Oh my God, Kokoro is so badass. Like, she got that sea train, the Rocket Man, through Enies Lobby, and it's like flying through to the Tower of Law where they are. It's just like so funny. Just like, she's just doing her thing. She's just doing her thing. She's so badass. She's so awesome. Another one of my favorite characters, let's be honest. I was shocked when Frankie burned the Pluton blueprints. The 5-year plan for the CP9 members, like, up in flames. Like, just like that. That was so cool as well. Again, like, it just took me by surprise. What else? Honestly, I'm finding it so hard, in all honesty, to talk. I keep getting winded. I do. I keep getting winded. He says, the blueprint was left in order to construct a counter force, but your government people were able to find it. This was supposed to remain a secret, and the moment the blueprint becomes public, it must be destroyed. Well, now the power to counter the weapon is gone. If Nico Robin falls in your hands, we're doomed, and if the Straw Hats win, you will have nothing left. I'm going to bet on them winning. Bro, Frankie, and oh my God, Frankie was so happy to see his family had come. Like, look at him crying. I love a man who just has no qualms with getting in touch with his emotional side. As you can tell. Like, Frankie's just such an emotional mess. You guys, you idiots who asked you to come to my rescue. Oh, Oh, he's precious, honestly, as well. He's precious. I don't want to say goodbye to him. It's so weird how quickly you can fall in love with the character in One Piece. It really is. Like, I'm not just liking Frankie right now, I'm loving Frankie. I love him. I love Robin. I love everyone. Apart from Spandam and CP9. That was a shocking moment. The sea train's gone through. Be more face to face with CP9 now. They're not separated by two towers. So the next chapter is chapter 400. That will be my last one for the night, I think. And do you know what else is awesome? I have been following along with the cover stories. And we still have Miss Golden Week's plan, a Baroque reunion. They've been reunited. They've been reunited. So you see, I mean, Crocodile's there. Quite a lot of the Baroque works are there. You know what? I'm kind of happy about that. I'm glad they were defeated in Alabasta, but there's a part of me that's like, you know what? I like this. I like this as a side storyline. Does that mean they're going to come back to antagonize the Straw Hats? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. I think they're just going to do their thing, you know? Maybe they found their own family together and they just missed one another and they can just go off and do their own adventures. I mean, yeah, their plan to take over Alabasta failed, but like, there are other places to take over. I hope they don't. But like, I do hope they have a happy life together. I mean, they haven't escaped. Like, they're in like jail. Miss Golden Week and a few of the other Baroque Works members pretended to be arrested to infiltrate this prison that they're in. So if Miss Golden Week's adventures continue, it'll be interesting to see if they actually get out too. But that's so interesting. I love that. Sanji would be the one who would run across Khalifa. I love the fact that this feels like a video game, this chapter. Essentially, like, what we're doing here, it's a bit like a quest. We are on a bit of a quest mission right now. Each of the CP9 members have a key, and only one of them's a real one to the cuffs that Robin has on her. That's made of sea prism stone, and that stops Robin from using her devil fruit powers. So they need to get the real key, but they won't know which is the right one, but also they can't afford to lose time because Robin's about to go through the gates of justice. So Luffy's headed towards Robin and Lucci and Spandam so that he can get straight to the heart of the matter. Sanji's ran into Khalifa and like he's gonna be I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know how he's going to do it. He's got a job on his hands. He will have a job on his hands. Let me see. Who's with who? Frankie is going to be against, and I'm not really great with their names just yet, so I'm flicking through. Fakoro. Is that right, Fakoro? The one that looks like a big toad. Frankie is going to be facing off with him. It looks like Usopp will be facing off against Jabra, who is pretending to be asleep. Nami is going to be facing off against Komodori. Zoro is facing off against Kaku. Yeah, I don't know what Chopper's up to at the minute. But yeah, they each have the person that they need to battle. So I think it's going to be a bit like, was it Alabasta? When they each had their own Baroque work members to put up against. It feels like that. And that's awesome because I can't wait to see each of them shine and kick the asses of the CP9 members. But it's not going to be easy. It feels so hard. It feels like it's going to be so difficult in order to do it. And Luffy sees everyone win even if it kills you. Losing a fight means losing time. So we are again racing against the clock. Everything is on the table. The stakes could never be higher. I'm in fucking love. Don't think there's anything else to say about the chapter. Oh, hang on, no, there's two things I need to talk about this. Firstly, for instance, at the very start, Kokoro, when she is driving the sea train into the building, and she's talking to Tom, and she's like, brings back memories, doesn't it, Tom? It looks like we didn't learn our lessons since the whole lot of Tom's workers are helping this pirate kid. Haha, you would have done the same thing, wouldn't you, Tom? And it's just like a beautiful development for her and going back to Tom's workers and that flashback and seeing how close they were and the impact that Tom had, the impact that that storyline had. But also Spandam, his sword, he has an elephant sword that actually turns into an elephant. Funkfried. Elephant fruit. That's so interesting. Like, again, more developments, more new developments, things I've never seen before, and I'm just like, mind blown. Mind absolutely bloody blown. Yeah, this is the last chapter I'm reading for tonight, because that means I've read 400 chapters of One Piece. 400! Cannot believe I read that many. It's a great landmark, and yeah, I have 29 chapters left to go, so I think I will continue on in the morning and rest, because I need to. I've been emotionally battered and abused by this arc so far. That rooster, I think, is my number one enemy right now. It's always hilarious when it seems like everything's going to be quiet and then out of nowhere an animal comes and like the Sniper King's telling this rooster, don't crow, don't make a sound. But the rooster's just looking at him like, and he's about to crow, and he crows and wakes up the wolf man. I'm just going to call him Wolf Man. And yeah, he turns into a wolf. He turns into a wolf. What did I say? I thought he would turn into a snake or something like that. I can't remember my first guess, but snake was my second guess. But no, he's a big-ass wolf. Okay, yeah, Jabra turns into a wolf. Kaku turns into a big giraffe. And I should have known a giraffe. I kind of get giraffe vibes from him. But what did I say? Did I say a woodpecker? I mean, a woodpecker would probably be too small to fight. But it would be lethal. I mean, can you imagine getting pecked to death? Ow. But instead, he's a big talking giraffe and has caused the ceiling to collapse so that Zoro and Kaku have collapsed down into the garden below where, the Sniper King and Jabra are. So I'm kind of glad because it doesn't look like the Sniper King will be able to take on a wolf on his own. So to have Zoro there, they will be able to, I guess, fight together. You know, hopefully anyway. But yeah, this is what this chapter was about. Luffy's running after Lucci and going to the gates of justice. And we have Kaku displaying his devil fruit powers for the first time. So that was really cool. That was really interesting. Fights going on. I'm loving it. Very exciting. Yeah, it's the next day now as well, so I have myself a nice coffee. Wearing the same hoodie for consistency, so don't think low of me. And plus, it's a really comfy hoodie. I got this from lightinthebox.co.uk, in case you're wondering. It's just so comfortable. It also has Chopper on the bottom. It does have Chopper on the bottom. I can't be bothered to stand up. I'm so tired. It's quite early still, but it is what it is. I couldn't wait to wake up so I could start reading Enies Lobby again. Chopper thinking that Sanji would be the first one to get a key is hilarious considering Sanji is against Khalifa. And it seemed like just for a moment that his spell had been broken and he had 3 cups of tea and he was ready to kick Khalifa's ass, and then he asks for the key and she's like, well, you'll have to search me. And of course, right back in there, isn't he? Right back in his simp stage. This is actually like quite a funny chapter as well because of Zoro and Sniper King. Sniper King finds these handcuffs on the wall, and with them being safe prism stone, he has the idea of putting it on Kaku and Jabra. Oh my god, I'm starting to get their names properly. Okay, brilliant. And he throws it over, but it lands on Zoro's hand instead. Because it was a brilliant plan, actually. It was a great plan to do that to them, just to make them weaker so that their animal forms won't be a problem. But the Sniper King messed up the aim. And then somehow he ends up getting the other half of the handcuffs that are on Zoro on his hand. So now Zoro and the Sniper King are stuck together. And Kaku and Jabra revealed that each of the keys have a number and it corresponds with the handcuffs. So they need key number 2, and Kaku and Jabra say we don't have number 2. So Chopper is now looking for key number 2. So it's gone very comical right now, and I do appreciate that because of how intense the backstory was only a few chapters ago, and then Robin claiming that she wants to live and things like that. It's like, it's a nice cool down for that, which I can imagine it does get more intense again. But just with the whole fighting, we had the more serious fighting early on when Luffy was trying to get his way through to Robin. Now it's like, well, this is kind of the final act before the final act, if you know, like, what's the stage before the final act? Well, you know what I mean, like, we're building up to something, but we're just having a little bit of fun right now. We're having a little bit of fun. What's Gear 3? He turned into a little kid? Like, Luffy's turned into a little... He looks so funny. The fact that he managed to open those steel doors, though, with Gear 3. So I know Gear 2, it made him quite fast and agile and stuff. So what, Gear 3 turns him into a child? That opens steel? I don't know what that is. I'm sure it will be explained in a second, and if it's not, please explain down below. But it is so exciting. I said it was comical before, and it definitely is where it comes to Zoro and the Sniper King, for instance. But it's quite serious when it comes to, like, say, Nami fighting against Commodore, because she can't really beat him. His hair is like octopus tentacles, she says. So she ends up getting saved by Chopper, who steals the key, which has the number 3 on it. So at least they've got 1 key, and it was Chopper who got the first key. And I'm so proud of him. I am so proud of Chopper being the one to get the first key. But then we see Sanji fall through the floor, and obviously he can't hurt Khalifa. and he looks like some kind of glass doll thing. Like, she's done something really bad to him, so I need to know what her power is. I don't know if she does actually turn into anything, or if she has some kind of different power. I don't know. But I loved the discussion that Nami had with him about him not wanting to kick a woman. Nami says, I'm seeing your chivalry almost cost you your life. Are you still going to adhere to it even if you get beaten up like this? What if you die? And he says, I don't want to die, just I don't kick women is all. That was drummed into me as a kid. That's why even if it kills me, I won't kick a woman. And Nami saying there's no chivalry dying a senseless death. I don't know if this will mean that Sanji will change his stance on that in the future. But I mean, Nami says she is pretty impressed, like, with the whole chivalry stuff. And I guess, like, I am too, in a way. Like, obviously, it's played for laughs sometimes, the way that Sanji just falls head over heels in love with a woman. But it's also, like, I don't know what to think. Like, if a woman's about to kill you, then it doesn't matter what gender they are. You've got to defend yourself. You know, like, that's what it should be. But I feel like this is something that Sanji needs to learn and overcome. But I don't know if he will. It's a tricky conversation to have, I guess. But now Nami's going to kick Khalifa's ass, and I'm honestly ready for it. I am here for the Nami versus Khalifa fight. She's gonna be awesome! And Chopper is gonna take on Kumadori. So the initial battles, the initial someone versus someone thing has changed already, and I love that. It really shakes it up, especially since in Alabasta it was like the set battle between the two or three, and it was set, and then our Straw Hats would win and we'd carry on, kind of thing. So it's nice to see that little change up there. I also love the fact that beforehand, a couple of chapters before, when one of the CP9 members did a move, it was like a slash kind of move, it slashed the building, and the building's now kind of like sliding, because it's split in half, like sliding along, so that even adds more to the danger. Like, it's so exciting. Just like every climax in an arc so far has been super exciting. I remember Sky Pier was getting exciting when it looked like everything was going to get destroyed. Water 7 with the Aqua Laguna. So many exciting things happen in a climax that I just can't handle it. My body can't handle it. I've never had a climax like... I'm going to stop myself right there. The fact Frankie needs cola in order to get stronger when I'm actually a Pepsi gal. I mean, don't get me wrong, I won't judge. I won't judge anyone who prefers cola over Pepsi. But couldn't be me. Now Chopper and Frankie are together. Frankie is still fighting the big frog guy, and Chopper managed to put Kumadori in the big fridge, but Frankie needed the fridge for the cola. So Chopper has to keep like trying to get stuff out of the fridge without letting Kumadori out. And that made for a bit of a funny moment, because Chopper kept throwing things. Like, one of them was juice, another one was tea, and Chopper said something about, are you sure it's not, what is it, psychosomatic? Are you sure you only need cola? But yes, it has to be cola. So finally Frankie does get the cola, and he manages to punch the frog guy, and it's going to be game over for him. Frankie is back, and we're going to get another key. And hopefully it's key number 2. Because I have no idea what Zoro and the Sniper King are up to right now. I think they're still like running away. Potentially. Also the fighting between Frankie and Fukuro, when they keep punching one another. And they're like, yours is a wimpy punch. Yours is an old person punch. Stuff like that. So funny. Frankie is so close to kicking Fukuro's ass. So close. But it was actually really, really close to the fact that he almost went over that waterfall thing. So that was quite scary. But Frankie, being a quick thinker, manages to threaten Fukuro's life and connect the two of them. A little bit like how Zoro and the Sniper King are connected together in order for Frankie to not go down that waterfall. Loved the moment where Fukuro is saying about one of his powers, you know, one of the 6 powers that the CP9 have, and he's like, you won't be able to see me, I'm like an owl, I'm ready to strike, and then he's too focused on Frankie that he doesn't know it's Chopper, and Chopper manages to punch him, and he shouts over to Frankie, he's right here. Like, yes, the CP9 are powerful and strong, but they're not stronger than our Straw Hats. And I love that Chopper was not afraid to get in on that bit of the fight there as well, especially since a lot of times he is quite scared, a little bit like Usopp is, but he does step up to the plate when he needs to. So really enjoying that. I want Frankie to win, of course. Get that key. Get to Zoro and the Sniper King. Get them free. Defeat Jamba and Koku. Have Nami defeat Khalifa. Obviously Luffy and Lucci, but I imagine that's going to happen last. Yeah, I think that might be it. And hopefully Sanji's okay. I hope he's okay. This fucking finger pistol move thing, I swear to God. Chopper is still fighting the Kumadori guy, and he used the finger pistol blast thingamabobby. And that move, seriously, it wipes people out. If Chopper could just learn that move, use it against him, that would be great. I don't think there was anything else of note in the chapter, just a lot of fighting. Oh, actually, no. Great thing about this chapter, actually, as well, is because Zoro and the Sniper King are still, tied together. I mean, one, Zoro did suggest that one of them cut off their hand so that the other one can fight. But the second option, which is actually pretty awesome, is that Zoro will use Sniper King as a sword. So, that's such a creative way of going around this situation. And it'll be really interesting to see Zoro use a human using a sword as a sword. That is bonkers. But I can imagine Zoro will still do fantastically with that. That's just hilarious to me. Great thinking, though. Great thinking. When it comes to fighting, Zoro is very good at thinking of stuff to help. And it's going to be so funny to see the Sniper King being used as a sword. I just think that'll be a hilarious visual. So I need to get back to the fight with them now. So great to see Dr. Kuriha in a flashback format. I've missed her. I'm watching the anime at the minute and I've just watched the entire Drum Island arc. And seeing her again made me miss her. I was like, wow, I really do miss her. She was a great character and I just love the Drum Island arc in general, honestly. We got some great new characters, some great moments in that arc. But to have Chopper flashback to Dr. Kuriha and her influence on him was so nice. And also the fact that Chopper says his most powerful move is, what was it? Snow Blizzard? Rose Blizzard, sorry. His most powerful move is Rose Blizzard, which incorporates Cherry Blossoms, which is part of Dr. Hiraluk and his goal on Drum Island and what his goal was. So I love that Chopper is still carrying them in his heart and using them in his sort of fighting abilities. But then Chopper transformed into the most giantest of forms. He's huge. But he has done it before and he can't tell who his friend or foe in this state, apparently. So he's worried that somebody will come in, one of his friends will come in. He's worried of hurting them. But he has to do something because, again, he's trying to do this for Robin. He needs to get the key. But it actually seems like key number 2 is with Khalifa. And Nami is currently trying to fight her. Khalifa's taking a bath. And Nami is quite weak, but then Nami starts using her climate baton and she's using the powers of that. So I don't know how much that's going to affect Khalifa, but we're definitely going to find out very soon, I think. These fights with the CP9 members are going on quite long, but it just shows you that they're not easy to take down. And when they do get taken down, I will be so satisfied. I really will be. I think there's 22 chapters left? I need to see more of them fall now though, because it felt like years ago when Bluno fell. Khalifa's powers are so weird, but also I totally get it. So she can create these bubbles on her body. She ate the bubble fruit. And to be honest, every single time I have a bubble bath and I'm sitting there soaking myself, I feel all of my energy drain away. That's kind of smart. That is kind of smart. And it was hilarious when Khalifa turned into this big soap sheep thing. That was funny. But seriously, we can't underestimate her. It seems ridiculous in a way, but at the same time, not. Yeah, she seems quite formidable. And the fact that when Nami did the Thunderbolt thing and Khalifa cocooned herself inside this big soap egg thing, it's kind of yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. Also, everything she touches can become nice and smooth. So a bit like how we saw Sanji earlier when he looked like some kind of doll. She says, I'll give you a smooth, glossy complexion on every inch of your body. So that will make it really impossible for her to move. And at the minute, I'm like, well, crap, what's Nami going to do? But I do hope Nami does take her down. I hope somebody doesn't come and save her at the last minute. I really do want Nami to be the one to have this win. She took on the Baroque work members herself and she did a fantastic job at that. When it seemed like she was going to lose, she won. So I hope the same thing happens here. It was also really scary to see Chopper in that form, that kind of big monster form. I don't like calling him a monster, especially since Robin was bullied for being a monster. And also Chopper himself was kind of seen as a monster at Drum Island. So I don't like using that word. Chopper's not a monster. But that big, huge thing is huge. And I think because he didn't want any of his friends to come and see him like this because he can't tell friend from foe. And now Frankie has come across him. Yeah, I don't know if maybe we're going to get a huge Chopper versus Frankie fight, which we don't have time for. We don't have time for this. But at the end of this chapter, we did have Luffy reach Lucci in Spandam has taken Nico Robin further to the gates of justice, but at least Robin knows that Luffy is coming because they all heard his voice, and just seeing the smile on her face made me smile so much. I was so happy, and she knows he's coming. She knows that her friend is there and he's gonna help her. Oh, I love it. I hope Robin also gets a chance to fight. I've missed Robin's fighting. I think as soon as that handcuffs thingamabobby, the Sea Prism Stone handcuff stuff is off her, she will be like ready to go. She'll be unstoppable. I really do hope that Robin gets one of the final fights in this arc. I mean, I do love it when Luffy manages to take down the big bad, but I want Robin to fight back. I need to see her. I want her to let go of her emotions. I want her to find a way to release all of that. And I think her getting some hits in, which again, I don't condone violence, but come on, like, look what they've done to her. Look what they've done to her this entire time. I want her to win. I want her to beat the enemy. You know, it's great that Luffy will most likely take down Lucci. I kind of want to see Robin take down Spandam. I want her to do that so bad. Spandam, you stupid son of a bitch. Oh, he's activated the Buster Call. Oh, this is terrifying. It's 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, Enies Lobby will be burnt to a crisp. It'll be burnt to the ground. There'll be no island left. What's he thinking? It was trying to do a snail transporter thing to talk to CP9, but he accidentally ends up pressing the one that activates the Buster Call. Stupid. He is one stupid villain, honestly. But like that makes some of the most terrifying villains as well, because they can make mistakes like that willy-nilly, and he's not even going to cancel it either. He's going to let the Navy ships come, destroy Enies Lobby, leave nothing left alive, because he's like, well, it doesn't matter if we sacrifice 100 lives, 200 lives, it doesn't matter, because this is the world order, essentially. This is what has to happen in order to stop the ancient weapon or whatever. Like, they don't care about what happens to the people. And everyone hears this. It's been broadcast to everyone. And it was a little bit funny when he tried to say, oh, I'm Luffy, I'm Straw Hat Luffy, and Robin calls him a liar. So, like, nobody believes it, obviously, but, like, that was kind of funny that he would try and back out of it and pretend to be someone else. But yeah, now they've got 30 minutes. 30 minutes before all of this happens. And it's Robin's worst nightmare too. Can anything else go wrong? This is just too much. We ended this chapter with Luffy and Rob Lucci doing this. Punching each other's hands and blasting back. They are both so strong. They are both probably the most powerful people on this island. So their fight is going to be epic. I can already feel it in my bones. Their fight is going to blow every other fight ever out of the water. Out of the water 7. At least I hope so. Yeah, CP9 don't seem to really care. Khalifa says that they've gotten out of tougher situations. So yeah, we've got quite a lot riding on this now. And Robin trying to get everyone to leave. Flashbacks to O'Hara. Like, that must be so traumatic for Robin to have to do again. So it'll be interesting to see how she copes with this. And I still feel like she could kick Spandam's ass, even with her hands bound by these handcuffs. I have every faith that she will. She just can't use her power, but I don't even think she needs her power to beat Spandam. So I really hope she fights back. Finished volume 42. I am now on volume 43. 2 full volumes to go. And put this over here with my completed volumes. See, this is why Nami is brilliant. I love when she does that Mirage tempo move. And she has a fake and she's actually somewhere else. Like, she really gets Khalifa good with that move. Even though, like, Nami looks so funny after Khalifa has used her powers and rubbed her everywhere. Not a single wrinkle or pore is left on your body. Now your skin is perfect. I'm jealous. But Nami just looks so funny like that. It looks so odd. But it's so funny. So yeah, they're fighting. Chopper busted through the wall, and Khalifa thinks that Chopper is Nami. So it's just like, wow, she's supersized, so she's got powers too. And Nami's behind her like, what a ditz. I love that. It's so funny. And I was a little bit worried that it would mean that Chopper would take out Khalifa, meaning that Nami wouldn't win. But the next chapter is called Nami versus Khalifa. So I do think it's going to be just a one-on-one thing. I don't know what Chopper's doing. I think he's just causing havoc. You know, he's just running around, causing havoc, destroying things, as he should. Still hasn't figured out how to get out of that monster form just yet, but I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll figure it out, probably through the power of friendship, through the power of love. The Lucci and Luffy fight is going on. They're just, like, throwing a lot of punches at each other. Like, they're not really taking each other down just yet, but they are just fighting. But it does show you that Lucci is a great foe against Luffy. Blue No, I don't think lasted this long. And Frankie's family are torn at the minute because everyone's having to evacuate, but they don't want to leave Frankie or the Straw Hats. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they have to play into it now that everyone's pretty much running away. So who are they fighting now? Are they going to join in on the fights with the CP9 or what? I don't know. But they need to get out ASAP. Again, 30 minutes, probably less than that now, so yeah, exciting times. I always love it when Nami sticks out her tongue. Even in the face of a tough fight, she still has the Nami cheeky tongue out move. Oh my god though, her fighting skills are immense and amazing. But yeah, Chopper, he isn't taking over the fight, thank god, but he has been causing a lot of havoc. He still can't tell who's who. Nami did try and tell him, hey, it's me, it's Nami, but he just wasn't having it. But that did mean that Nami got to take advantage of Khalifa and her fighting style and learn from it. And like, why is Nami like one of the best fighters? Like, let's be honest, she can do so much. That climate baton thing, the things that she does with it, the way that she can cause a rain tempest thing to wash away the bubbles and make everything fine again, and then to use the mirage move, it's genius. It's so good. Khalifa literally has no chance, in my opinion. It's gone so dark right now. Has Nami just cast a rain tempo over here too? Suddenly the sky has gone dark. There are so many clouds now, and they look like rain clouds. Wow. Nami's power. I'm scared. I'm scared. Don't come for me, Nami. I said you're amazing. Loving the fight. Loving that Nami is getting her chance to shine. Okay, firstly, in the cover stories, we have the Baroque works. Some of them didn't leave the prison for some reason, even though they had the opportunity to escape. So like Crocodile and things. They chose to stay, and they've now been incarcerated to the prison Impel Down. So I wonder when we get to that saga or that arc, if we will see them again. But the other Baroque work agents who have managed to escape are opening a spider cafe like they did way back when, and I like that. I like the fact that they're getting back into the swing of things and they've opened their cafe again. Like that just sounds great. Good for them. Good for them. But getting back to the actual story, Nami beat Khalifa and she was incredible. Absolutely incredible. She made sure that the climate in the room all belonged to Nami. She had so many amazing moves and skill sets that she unleashed on Khalifa to really overcome her, and it was just so incredible, especially since she was like, no matter how strong you are, my forecast is never wrong. And I just love it so much. And I always love this sort of weather related puns and clever things that she says when she uses the climate baton. It's the kind of jokes that a news forecaster would come out with. But Khalifa does have key number 2, so now Zoro and the Sniper King are apart now, and Nami is with them. Frankie has blasted Chopper into the ocean, hoping that it will stop him from being in this monster form. Hopefully it works. I don't know if it will. Hopefully it does. But I think that's now 4 of the CP9 members down. So we still have Lucci, Koku, and Jabra, who are still fine and need defeating. And of course, Spandam. So go Straw Hats, go Straw Hats, go Straw Hats. Yeah, Sanji! And the way that Sanji is just like to Jabra when he says, who are you? And Sanji says, the hunter, because Jabra's a wolf. Get it? It's like, especially since Jabra was making some sheep analogies just before this to Usopp, Sniper King, and I'm just honestly filled with puns. So many puns left, right, and center. I love it. But same, just a lot of tensions are high. Frankie is going after Robin as well with 2 of the keys, hoping that they will fit the lock on Robin's handcuffs. We still haven't seen Lucci or Luffy in a while, but I imagine that fight's still going strong. Ooh, the 10-finger pistol move as well that Jabra did on Sniper King looked painful, but still, Sniper King stood up and still tried to use one of his moves, and even though it didn't really work, he still stood up after that. The 1-finger pistol thing looked deadly. 10-finger pistol, and he still stood up after that? He is a hero. It's not just the cape. It's what's on the inside, and what's on the inside is very strong. And also, I haven't mentioned them really, but Kokoro's grandchild and her cat/bunny, I can't remember which one it was, but I think it's a bunny dressed as a cat, or the other way around. But they're helping Frankie get to where they need to go, just like they help Luffy get through the gates and stuff, and like telling him where to go for Nico Robin. So I love those two so much. I haven't mentioned them, but yeah, they're here and they're great. And they're just like so cute as well. Like she's just like a young girl with a rabbit dressed as a cat thing. They're just so cute, honestly. Like, and so helpful. So helpful. I would love it if they just randomly popped up in the series, just so randomly, just to guide them on their way. Like, they just come from nowhere. Like, they're just like, oh, we're on vacation at Impel Down or wherever. That's the only place I can think of right now. We're just vacationing here in Impel Down. That's the way to the bad guy, you know? Like, that would be so funny. But yeah, now Sanji's back. I am so happy. For a second there, I genuinely thought Sanji was stupid enough to fall for one of Jabra's tricks again. But no, Sanji, have you ever heard of the boy who cried wolf? Kicks him right up in the sky. Great, love that. I also love the really little part, actually, just because obviously with Sanji, his moves are kind of based after, or at least like named after courses and dinner and stuff like that. And Jabra saying, all your harmless cooking attacks are making me hungry like the wolf fang. And it's like, hungry like the wolf, you know the song? It's just like, again, a great little moment there. Just so funny. I love that. Made me chuckle. But yeah, I don't know if Sanji has actually kicked him off. But I like this panel here with the Sniper King and Usopp split. So long as you're here, we're sure to save Robin, Usopp. And it's kind of like, it's breaking down his identity. Like, remember who you are, remember what you're here to do. You know? So I like that too. The fight is going strong between Lucci and Luffy, but the gates of justice are starting to open, so it's getting more intense. Spandam used his elephant sword thing to try and stop Robin. She's trying to run away, but he's like trying to stop her. He's grabbing her by the hair, and I hate that. I hate seeing Robin in pain. Like, he's just an awful person. Get those handcuffs off her so she can win you fair and square. He's honestly such a coward. I hate him so much. Him and that god-awful rooster. Whoa, Sanji can produce heat and fire with his leg? Whoa, that's so cool. Flambe shot. And his like leg is on fire. Wow. Oh, that's so cool. Oh yeah, Jabra had no chance. No chance whatsoever. That was so cool. Sanji must be so happy about that, because he can kind of use that against Zoro now as well. Like, it can be like, well, I can heat up my leg. So, but no, like, that is such a cool move. It's brilliant. It's like, I mean, I do like Sanji's fighting style. It is good, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite out of all the Straw Hats. But now he's just turned up the heat, per se. He's turned up the heat. Like, wow. I'm just like so surprised. People are getting these new extraordinary techniques and powers in this arc. Luffy did one before. What was it, Gear 2? Oh my god. Like, everyone's getting so powerful. Like, Nami and the way she can use a climate baton, and just like how clever she is in a fight. Chopper in his big huge monster form. Just wow. Seriously. But yeah, I think he's taken down Jabra now. I thought he did at the end of the previous chapter, but he didn't. But I think he's definitely down now. He's got to be, because that was such a cool move. That was just intense and incredible. I love learning new things about these characters. 415 chapters in. There's just still so much to learn, so much for them to learn, so many ways that they can surprise us. And yeah, I'm just in awe. Sanji's like such a badass again. And nothing else happened really in the chapter of note, I guess. Just that move. It was so epic. Oh my god. I need a moment. Again, the way Zoro's arms just bulged up when he said one gorilla, two gorilla. I think I'm going to need to take a moment for different reasons. Kaku and Zoro are still fighting. Frankie has reached Lucci and Luffy, and he's going to try and get past Lucci so we can give the keys to Robin. Robin's about to cross the gate, the bridge to the gate. And yeah, 10 minutes until the Navy ships arrive at the island. Is that everything? Yeah, I think that's everything. Sanji's got key number 1, so he's going to go and see if he can get it to Robin. Still knee-deep in the battles. Whoa, Zoro has a new sword style as well. What? Asura? 9-sword style Asura? 9-sword style? Do you need any more swords? Are there any more swords left for anyone else? Demon Aura, 9-sword style Asura. Okay, I really do want this fight to be over because I want to move on from it. But, like, it's epic. The way that Zoro looks with all of these arms. Way. Okay, there's no way that Kaku can defend himself from this attack, right? Surely no way. And I just never would have thought I would have seen a fight with a giraffe person before. It's so odd and so strange. And even Kaku is trying to adapt to this new fighting style. I can imagine it's hard fighting as a giraffe, but still, it's so bizarre. It's hilarious though, but bizarre. Ready for Zoro to kick his ass so that we can move on. The next chapter is called Luffy versus Rob Lucci. So So I'm thinking this will be the big battle of the arc. The part where Robin is biting the bridge and there's blood coming out of her mouth. Oh God, it made me feel so uneasy. And like her saying that she doesn't want to die. Like she really does want to die. She wants to live. She wants to live, God damn it. Spandam is getting more and more insidious and awful. Frankie has managed to make it past Lucci, so that's great. However, Lucci is now in his leopard form. So if we recall, he did take Luffy down with one finger pistol in that form previously. However, Luffy says, yeah, I ate some meat and got over it. Like, all Luffy needs is food. He hasn't eaten in a while, so I'm a bit worried about him. But I'm sure he'll take down Lucci absolutely fine. But we just need to stop them from getting through those gates because of the Neptunians. So it's coming down to the wire, honestly. Love that the Giants are helping people get off the island too, especially Frankie's family. And they're all over the Giants. Yep, Zoro took down Kaku and has the key. So what a satisfying moment as well when Zoro relayed the message from Pauline saying that you guys are fired. That was a great moment too. Like, again, filled with so much action and brilliance. Really, really loving how it's going. And now I feel hungry. I've got one chapter left of this volume. I might eat after this. Oh, I am so happy. Oh, I loved that the Sniper King, I mean, one that he's singing. He's definitely got that theme song. How does it go again? Oh, the wind follows my name from Sniper Island, far away. I don't know. It's something like that. But I have been listening to it. It's a really great theme song. But saying like Zoro, like, does he have to sing? Hilarious. But the fact that Sniper King is at the top of the Tower of Law and he's far away, but again, he's like the best sharpshooter, right? He's like the best. So he manages to get Spandam, get in, and blasts him. Frankie triggered a mine on the way up to the Gates of Justice that Spandam had left. But obviously, he's fine. He's absolutely fine. And now he's got all the keys to Robin. So I can only imagine what's going to happen next. Get those handcuffs off her so she can obliterate everyone. It'll also be really satisfying if Frankie and Robin are taking on Spandam together. Because, again, Spandam and Frankie do have history, especially when it comes to Tom. So it'll be great for him to be able to get some resolution there. It was also super interesting that Spandam revealed that it was his father who initiated the Buster Call on O'Hara 20 years ago. He's the reason why Robin's been on the run for so long. He put the bounty on her. To me, that was a huge revelation. I don't know if it was obvious before, but it is a huge revelation for me. But that again adds some connection between Robin and Spandam. So I want Frankie and Robin to take him down together. I really do. And the tables have just turned. The tables have turned. I feel so much hope for Robin right now. And again, I don't think she was losing hope, but it seemed quite hopeless to begin with, especially since, you know, she's crying and she's like shouting, I'm still alive, but you're going to die. Like, she is hanging on by a thread. But I just want her to be happy. I just want her to be happy so badly. Like, I feel like this has been the longest she's been away from the Straw Hats, like seriously, since pretty much the very start of Water 7. I think it was like the 3rd chapter when she disappeared in Water 7. And it feels like the longest time. It's felt like 100 chapters or something. I've missed her being with them so much. I need the satisfaction of them being together again. However, I did also say that there's a popularity poll. Total votes, 50,000. Luffy 1st place. Zoro 2nd place. Sanji 3rd. Chopper 4th. Robin 5th. Usopp 6th, 7th Nami. I still don't like the fact that Nami is the least popular Straw Hat though. It's so, I don't think that's correct. It's not how my ranking would go. The fact that Kaku though was 9th place, he's above Ace. He is above Ace. Ace is in 10th. That's just weird. Mihawk's 8th. Yeah, Mihawk is incredible. We haven't seen a whole great deal of him, but to come 8th place above Ace? And how many votes? 1,700. 1,900 votes for Nami, 1,700 for Mihawk. I'm like, really? There should be a bigger gap between them, I'm telling you. Frankie's 13th, but I imagine he's going to shoot up after this. Shanks 11th, Rob Lucci 12th, Smoker 14th, Vivi 15th. It's nice to say Vivi's still ranking. Nami was 5th in the 2nd popularity poll from One Piece Volume 24. So Nami slipped down under Usopp. And of course, Robin shot into the top 5. Ace was 8th, so he's gone down. Vivi was 10th, she's gone down. Mr. Tubon Clay, he was 9th. And now he's 21st. Wow, he's really slipped down. And Shanks was 7th, now 11th. Okay, yeah, that's also interesting. I love stuff like this. Who is like last? 99th place is Mr. One. 95th place is Foxy, not surprised. He did my tits in. But yeah, it was a great volume. Like, oh, like a great chapter as well. And now I am on the final volume of Enies Lobby. And look at Robin looking such a badass on the cover there. Just like, oh, yes, work it. And I can put volume 43 with my completed volumes. Last 11 chapters, here we go. Oh, the Buster Call started and it's so intense. Oh, I can't cope with this one. I can't cope with this arc. Even Lucci, when he's saying about Luffy and his powers, like a normal person can't take it, like the blood pressure and stuff, his heart should give out and stuff. That's what I feel like. I feel like my heart is going to give out. But it was amazing to see the handcuffs come off Robin and for her to instantly be in her power pose and ready to freaking go and slap the shit out of Spantum. Oh, the most satisfying moment of this arc, bar none. That was incredible. And now she's going to fight alongside Frankie. The Navy ships, the warships have come. They're initiating the Buster Call. Things are exploding. Almost looked like the Sniper King got killed. But he is fine. He's absolutely fine. And again, just amazes me every single time just how badass he actually is. I know what you guys are saying now, like, about these arcs, like Water 7, Enies Lobby. It just feels like... It doesn't even feel like the same One Piece that I started with the East Blue Saga. It just feels like way more epic and way more dangerous, and just everything is overwhelming. And it's the best. It's the best in the world. Whoa, did you see that Gum Gum giant pistol? Gear 3? Honestly, how many gears are there? I just, yeah. It's a lot. Nami, Chopper, Kokoro, Gombi, and Chimney, I forgot those names, but they're there. And Zoro, Sniper King, and Sanji are in the undersea passage, but there's water coming down it now. It's going to get flooded. So we've got Zoro, Sniper King, and Sanji going one way towards the water, and Nami, Chopper, Kokoro, Gombi, and Chimney running away from the water. So they're going to intersect in the middle here. But Luffy and Lucci still fighting. But that huge fist that Luffy produced is just... knocked Lucci out of the building. So if Lucci lands in the water with him having Devil Fruit, he won't really be able to get back out, right? So that could have been the ultimate winning move, but I just don't know. As always, this late in the arc, there's just chaos everywhere, and it's hard to look at just one thing. Everything's just kicking off. The Vice Admirals will do anything, even fire at their own men in the name of justice. God, they are so terrifying. But also, I was so shocked to learn about Rob Lucci, like some backstory, because we had a story about him, gory, the most terrifying backstory I've heard. So 15 years ago, Rob Lucci, which I didn't find out until near the end of the chapter. At the time, I was just like, wow, this is really sick. But yeah, there were pirates who captured 500 soldiers, and a young boy, I think it was 13 at the time or something, Rob Lucci, went in, killed the 500 soldiers, stood on top of their bodies, beheaded the Pirate King. He has scars on his back from cannon blasts. Yeah, he was like a really young boy and he did that. He murdered so many people right there and then. And it turned out to be Rob Lucci. That was an incredible moment though when you see, because when Luffy punched him, Lucci landed on one of the warships and his top has like come off and you can see the scars on his back so you know it's him. But the fact that he beheaded someone, he killed 500 soldiers, like... Yeah, I know he's an assassin and stuff, and that's what CP9 are, but that's disturbing. That is actually disturbing. He is disturbed. I'm loving Luffy's giant powers, though. He really does expand so much. Even though it does take a lot of his energy, it's still really cool to see. And it's just like another evolution of his powers, isn't it? Just like to make his fights that much more interesting, to stop them from kind of feeling like repeats. I mean, it's great to say Gum Gum Pistol and all of that, but, you know, just changing it up a bit was fantastic. A great idea from Oda. There's only a few chapters left, and I know there is a post-Enies Lobby arc right after this, but like there's only a few chapters left, and I'm like, how are we going to wrap all of this up? I don't think we will. Wait one cotton pick a minute here. Is Kokoro a mermaid? Whoa, okay. Yeah, I see it. Well, she needed to save the guys from that tunnel, which has now been flooded with water, so... the fact that she has just come in clutch this entire arc, this entire saga, like she has been the actual GOAT in this entire thing. I'm not surprised she's come to the rescue again. A little bit funny though when it says, drowning sailors are said to have seen a graceful tail fin slip through their fading consciousness. They look up to see long hair rippling in the sea, a vision of beauty, the mermaid legend. If this is a dream, I hope. And then the next page, it's like a big spread of Kokoro. And everyone's like, we're taking the express line, hold your breath. Robin needed a moment to recover, and now she's recovered because she knows that she's not alone. And that was a really beautiful moment. This isn't like that time on O'Hara, I have nothing to be afraid of now because I'm not alone. Yes, you're not alone, your friends are coming. And I can't get over like how cute little Luffy is. Whenever he does his Gear 3 stuff, when he transforms his body into like this huge thing, he has a come down where he's like tiny. It's just so cute. It is. But continuously being surprised. Again, continuously being surprised. I mean, I do love the fact that Luffy has this Gear 2 power, but it does look like it's maybe a little bit too much for him right now. I still feel like he needs to learn how to adapt with it and use it effectively so that he doesn't burn himself out. Because it does seem like his life force like drains away as he uses it. Like, I don't know, like, if he uses it too much at once, does that mean during the cooldown he'll revert back to being a baby or something, or even less than that, maybe before being a baby, and then just completely vanish from existence? Is that what's happening? Is that why he keeps reverting to a child every single time he burns out? Like, I need to know these things. I need to know more about this Gear 2 stuff. But, Robin is back with the majority of the Straw Hats, not Luffy, but back with them. And I love that Sanji was running towards her, and then Nami and Chopper got there first and knocked Sanji out of the way to give Robin a big hug. Oh, that's what I've wanted. That's what I've wanted since the start of Water 7. Oh, and it finally came. I was so happy, overcome with joy and emotion. Oh, she's back. She is back. Oh, and Kokoro is an ice fish mermaid, and she says, if you go to Fishman Island, someday you'll understand. And I do believe we do get to Fishman Island at some point. So I'm really excited for that. I love the seeds of that have been planted already. Well, I feel like they've been planted for a while in the cover stories. So yeah, it looks really good. Frankie's family, I'm a bit concerned for because they're still on the island. The Navy ships are still bombing them, and it just looks really, really bad at the minute. And the Straw Hats have an evacuation ship. So they're just waiting for Luffy to beat the pigeon guy's ass, and then it'll hopefully be over and they can escape. I don't know if Luffy will beat him. He might have to run away, and then we will see Rob Lucci come up again in the future, maybe. I don't know. But it's definitely, again, the stakes are just higher and higher each time. Okay, not much to say about this chapter. Lucci Luffy still fighting. However, they did say, like the Navy said at the start, that can't be anyone alive left on the main island of Enies Lobby, which indicates that Frankie's family, the pirates, everyone who have come to pretty much help the Straw Hats and to save Frankie seem to have died, but I don't believe they're dead. I don't believe they've gone. I mean, that's just what the Navy people are saying, but they have been wrong before. Bombing has wiped them out. They're all dead. Nothing on the main island could have survived the attack. But I don't see any bodies, so I'm not going to say that they're dead. And again, it's Oda. He doesn't really kill people that we care about. But Frankie's eye, the way he's like full of fear in that moment, there are no survivors on the main island. Oh, and yeah, the last place is the Bridge of Hesitation, which was where everything was like kicking off. Not much else to say. It's really not looking good for Luffy right now. Really not looking good for him, but I just know he will get back up. He'll get on it. It's fine. The Sniper King taking the mask off and Usopp shouting Luffy. Are we gonna get an emotional reunion between Luffy and Usopp and get their friendship back on track? Is that what's gonna happen? I really hope that happens. But they need Luffy to quickly get on that ship so he can get the fuck out there. Like, seriously, he needs to leave. They need to leave. It's getting too much. It is getting way too much. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy Luffy finally defeated him. I should always know that when Luffy takes down a big bad, there is flashbacks just to make you feel even worse in that moment and make you feel all of the emotions. Seeing, different things that drive Luffy forward to beating Lucci. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was just so good. I'm so glad. And Usopp giving him words of encouragement, even though he's like, he had to save Robin, don't get the wrong idea. But he's saying that they're all going to be together. And that's all we've wanted this entire time. That's all Luffy wants, really. He wants all of his friends to be back together so they can get back on the sea, get back to it. Oh, it was so good. It was such a good fight as well. Such a brilliant, brilliant fight. I'm glad it's over, though. My heart can finally stop pitter-pattering. And then Luffy shouting, let's go back together, Robin. And the tears in Robin's eyes. Ooh. I just remember when she was a young kid and she was 8 years old and nobody wanted to be friends with her and they were scared of her. And now she has like the best of friends with her and they want to be with her. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The Pirate Straw Hat Luffy has just defeated CP9's Rob Lucci. Yes, he did. I had every faith he would. I did. Woo, that was so good. I love it. Love it. Oh my god. Oh, when Usopp said there's one more shipmate, I was hit again. Oh, the Going Merry came for you. Oh my god, this is... Oh, and Usopp saying that I can hear the voices. I did hear it. Look down, jump into the sea. Because Luffy can't move after what he's done. He's just... all energy is out of his body. He cannot move. And like, they're like, come on, Luffy, you got 5 seconds. You gotta go, you gotta get up, you gotta move. And they're saying jump into the sea because Usopp can hear the voices and they're like, what's coming? It's the fucking Going Merry. Oh, I've missed her. I've missed you so much. I've missed the Going Merry. Jump on board. And Luffy's face, he's smiling. Oh, she's one of them. She is one of them. I've missed her so much. Also, I was so happy that Frankie's family, the pirates and everyone are safe and fine. The Giants took the brunt of the bombs, but they have used the Galila ropes and stuff and they are like hanging over the edge of the waterfall thing. So they are fine. The Navy people did not kill everyone, as I thought. So that's great. Yeah, seeing Frankie's so happy that they're alive. It's just so lovely and so touching. After being knocked down countless times during this entire arc, I'm seriously like, this is just like so much happiness and emotion right now. I can't with the Going Merry. Oh. Especially since the escape ship's just been bombed. So I was like, well, crap, how are they going to get out now? But also, right, so I don't think I have anything else to say about the chapter, but in the cover stories, we now have Inaru, Great Space Mission. He's in space? Like, what? Arrival at the Endless Force. Wow, like that's pretty awesome, not gonna lie, the fact that we're including space. So that's Endless Force. Endless Force is this space. Oh my god. Okay, right, we're getting into the next chapter now. Oh, there's a ship judging by the pirate flag. It belongs to the Straw Hats. Yes, because there's another crew member and it's the Going Merry. The fact that she made it again, like, she is incredible. She is the best ship that there ever was. The best ship that there ever was. The Merry-Go's alive. And I just love how everyone's just so appreciative. Who brought her here? We'll figure that out later. Everyone take your positions. We're getting out of here. I don't think anyone had to bring her here. She brought herself because she loves her crew. She would do anything for them. Oh, and they're all back together on the Going Merry. And Robin saying thank you, everyone. This is just like a live reading of this chapter at the minute because I can't. In the back at fighting Sanji and Zoro, Mosshead. I love it. I'm just like, how is the Going Merry? The Going Merry looks tiny compared to the other ships. And they're about to get blasted. And they seem to be shooting at each other instead. Oh, the gates of justice are closing. So there is like a whirlpool happening here. Oh, so that's what Sanji... Okay, yeah, because Sanji disappeared for a little bit because he said he had something to do. And that's what he did. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, brilliant. Again... The Straw Hats are like the best ever. Yeah, there is no sea that the Going Merry can't cross. True. 7 Navy warships can't sink one stinking little ship. Yeah, because she's the Going Merry. Why can't we take one single woman from some measly pirates? Because you're shit. Because you are shit, Spandam. And you were against the Straw Hats. You had no chance. No chance. Yeah, Okiji. The incident was a complete and utter defeat. We escaped because of you, thanks, Mary. We just took back what they took from us. We won the fight. Oh, okay. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. Oh, I'm on the last chapter of Enies Lobby. Oh my god. Just seeing them escape. I mean, you pretty much got my live reaction on that. Seeing them escape was brilliant, utterly brilliant. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, just love the fact that the Going Merry is back. And I feel so happy, but also like... There's a bittersweet feeling on my tongue right now. I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, they've got Robin back. They've escaped. The Buster Call was a failure. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Right, okay, I feel like I might need to read this chapter live as well because it looks like the Going Merry isn't going to hold out much longer. The front of her is kind of falling apart. She's not just a ship. Mary is a comrade who's been with us for a long time. And it was the Going Merry that rescued us just now. And it's time to let her rest. No, no, I want to sail. Is that what the Going Merry said to Iceberg? I want to sail. Is it Iceberg who helped? I want to sail one more time. Oh my god, it's backstory. It's backstory. There's no hope for this ship. Mr. Iceberg, what are you doing there? More big waves will be coming. So he did help the Going Merry. It was Iceberg who helped launch her back in to the sea. Right now I'm looking at a miracle. You have a ship that's gone far beyond its limits. I get it. No. Oh no. So we're going to see you off. The sea floor's dark and lonely. Oh no. Maybe it's a good thing Usopp isn't here. Yeah. We must all part someday. This is a farewell between men. Luffy himself is ready. Oh no. Oh god. You carried us for a long time. Thank you, Going Merry. Oh, it's snowing. Fucking hell. The Going Merry is ready. All of the flashbacks. This is so awful. Why would you guys make me read this? I'm sorry. I wanted to carry you even farther. I'm sorry. I wanted to have adventures with you forever, for God's sake. They're actually talking to the Going Merry. And she's talking back. We're the ones who should say sorry. We're sorry, Merry. You guys knew this was coming up and you still let me go ahead with it, didn't you? Even so, I was happy. Thank you for caring about me. For God's sake. Crying over a ship. You're not telling me that we're saying goodbye to the ship? We're not saying goodbye to the Going Merry, are we? Not yet. Oh my god, is this why people cry at this arc? Because we have to say goodbye to the ship? I mean, I don't think I'll cry, but like, I'm close. I'm close to that. I'm crying over a ship. I was truly happy. Oh man. That's the end. God. Oh man. Right, okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. I finished Enies Lobby. I finished it. This hurts so much. I feel so stupid right now. I can't even look at it. I can't look at the volume. Right, okay. Get back to it. I loved it. It was a great arc from beginning to end. I think it was my favourite arc that we've had so far. And I didn't think we could top Water 7, but we did. I really feel like I should probably take a few minutes. Hi, Tobu. Did you come to give me some snuggles? Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, I think we're going to take 10 minutes just to recover a bit. And then I'll wrap up the arc, I promise. Mwah. Right, okay. I feel like I've composed myself enough to wrap up Enies Lobby. And yeah, I've got all of the volumes here. Oh, let me just grab them. Had a little cuddle with my cats, fed them, just to distract myself. Enies Lobby is done. What can I say about it? As a whole, it was one of the most exciting and emotional arcs I've ever read. Like, I wasn't like expecting so much of what happened. I adored the fact that we focused a lot on Robin at the start of this as well, and how the first half was building up to her saying that she wants to live, and just reinforcing the idea that these Straw Hats are there for her, and they're going to save her, protect her, do what they need to do. They declared war on the world. They declared war on the world government. I can't even fathom what's going to happen after this, because now surely all of them will have the biggest bounties on their heads. There's going to be ships after them constantly. Like, I'm shaking right now. I'm shaking because I just can't believe like how epic, well, more epic the story has gotten since the last, arc. And like, it's just like the intensity has just been rising so much with this story. It's definitely crossed the boundaries of what this series started out as for me personally. Like, it felt like such a fun little adventure, but now it's like it has my heart. It has like everything that I have at the minute. God damn, I'm going to set off again. And then obviously the ending was very emotional, which I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to talk about the Going Merry and that scene without feeling good grief, without feeling all of this overwhelming emotion of like what's happened to her, and her being part of the adventure and getting them from, A to B, like, and she wanted to continue further. And oh God, I don't know, I need to wrap this up because I can't keep like prolonging my feelings on this, and I need to like say goodbye to the Enies Lobby arc ASAP. Like, I know I loved it so much. It was the best arc I've read. But like, I need to move on. I need to come past this. So yeah, I just loved it. So many great scenes, and it was fab. It's a 10 out of 10 arc again. I'm going to give it a 10. I definitely feel like it goes above Water 7, but I don't want to lower Water 7. Water 7's still a 10 to me, but this one is just like top, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's all I can say. I need to shut up before I just continue to weep. I'm so sorry for crying. But yeah, that was my Enies Lobby arc review. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on the Enies Lobby arc. Let me know your thoughts on the video. Do you agree with what I say? Do you disagree? Let's just chat One Piece down below. Let's chat anything and everything, and let's just give our thanks to the Going Merry for getting us to this point, because she's awesome. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon or follow me on any social media, then all the links are down in the description box. If you'd like to go to Japan with me, I do have a trip to Japan this September 2023, and all the information for that is down in the description box. But yeah, that's it, and I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.